why conservative men.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There we go. Hey, get on up and get down. Yes.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me.
I'm a loner, Dottie.
Rebel.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I can't believe that we're alive in this beautiful time.
Sunrise on the horizon.
Sky is blue, no denying.
News with Skyjack Morgan.
Bright and early new dawn.
Every headline, every story. Get your morning some glory. Stay informed, stay tuned as the day greets new blue. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine. Information for you, darling. With coffee in your cup, used to fill you right up. Cleansing weather on the go.
Yes.
Morning shows you need to know. Join us on this daily ride with your morning side by side. Catch the latest, feel the vibe. Sky will keep you well supplied. Good morning headlines with Skyjack Morgan. Start your day just fine.
Information for you, darling. What's up? People looking up at my window. My gosh. It's a beautiful day today. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking. Hey, cut that out. Hi, my name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. Yeah, this is the number one news reaction show on YouTube, The Morning Sky Show. Thank you for being here. A lot going on today. Socialism's on the rise. Look out. The battle's coming. The age-old battle between the Social Democrats and the National Socialists, it's in full swing. Donald Trump called them Social Democrats yesterday, and I thought that was incredible because a little bit of a slipperoo just goes to show that the 1930s are here again. And the 1930s are here again, and we're only 4 years early. And you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming to the USA. And here we are. Are you happy, America? Are you happy? I keep on saying that MAGA is just the Nazi party, but really, I keep looking at how there's just a difference between an age-old conflict between something that looks like the National Socialists and something that looks like the Social Democrats. Every 100 years, we keep on having these battles, but really, it's an age-old conflict, an age-old tension between the idea that you have exclusive birthright to power, and the other side saying, well, everyone should be in power. What do you mean? We're all in this together, right? Hey, wait a second. Aren't we all in this together? Doesn't the public mean all of us? I think instead of asking how you define a woman, you should be asking, how do you define the public? Because after all, National Socialism was socialism just for a very narrowly defined public. Socialism being just the prioritization of public need over private profit. But some people, National Socialists, think that you can benefit the public, this narrowly defined one, like white Christian nationalists. You can benefit them by having corporate cooperation or coercion. National Socialists, they would go out of their way to force corporations to do what they want to benefit a certain group. They used slave labor that was taken over by the state labor that was just slaves that they stole and people that they coerced into that and bought and sold. And if the corporations didn't want to play ball, they just nationalized part or all of those corporations. We're doing something similar now. I don't know that if you noticed, but it keeps happening. I guess the question now is, why does it keep happening? And I think one of the reasons why is because we just don't like that. It's so shameful to not be educated. It's so shameful to not have the smarts or not be well read. And rather than care about educating yourself, you'll just hate the others. You'll blame somebody else for what's going on in your life rather than actually trying to do something about it. Playing the victim and saying that it's the immigrants or it's the boogeyman, it's the trans person that's causing all of my woes. I mean, what more of a victim mentality is that? And that's the thing about these Nazis. They're always playing victim. Always. Anyway, today's show is going to be a lot about that, I think, because Social Democrats are on the rise. They're coming back. And you know what's funny? I kept on saying that I don't ever want to vote for another Democrat unless something crazy happens. But something crazy might be happening in the Democratic Party. It might be getting taken over by Social Democrats. And you know what? I'm here for it. Let's see what this guy says.
Why conservative men who hate education can't spell. There's a psychological reason for that. In 1963, historian Richard Hofstadter at Columbia University spent years studying why certain Americans reject education.
Why?
And what he found was wild.
Why do so many
It was never about
Americans
being
reject?
stupid. It was about feeling embarrassed for being stupid. Hofstadter called this anti-intellectualism. Anti-intellectualism is when people feel looked down on by educated people. And instead of getting educated themselves, they attack education itself.
Oh.
The louder the attack, the deeper the shame. This is why the same men who cannot spell are the first ones to call scientists stupid.
Or come into my chat and call me a retard. You are retard. You're retard. I love. Do we have any misspellings yet? I love it when we do this. Can we get that, please? Anybody in the chat? I would love you to leave a chat right now. Tell me how you feel. I'd love to see it. Please put something in the chat. I'd love to see you do it. I'd love to see you do. You're stupid. I love when you guys do that.
This is why they mock people with college degrees, while demanding respect for opinions they can't defend. This is why they ban books they have never read and attack teachers they have never met. They're not against education. They are embarrassed by their own lack of education. And it's easier to burn the library down than admit you never learned to read properly.
It's interesting because
that is so rough. That is rough, boy. Man, what do you think about that, boy? Do you think that it's easier to burn down any kind of education and get educated yourself? Oof. I don't know, man. That's some rough shit. I don't know if I could handle the truth there. Burn down the school, burn down everything. I was doing a little bit of research about how kind of the future would look with an anarchist world. And one of the questions is always like, one of the questions I always get is like, okay, well, what do you do when a giant army marches on your borders? And it's like, well, I don't think that's going to be the problem in the future. I think the problem in the future will be the fact that corporations are poisoning the river, or corporations are building a pipeline underneath your property and it's leaking oil and giving you cancer. I think that'll be the thing. And it's easier to defeat a corporation than it is a nation state. Corporations always fold as soon as it becomes you're too much of a pain in the ass, because they don't care. They don't have any pride. Corporations, they have balance sheets. A their currency is currency, whereas a nation state, their currency is power. They'll burn down their own institutions. They'll go into wars and bankrupt their people. They'll starve their own people because their currency is power, and they cannot allow anyone to threaten their national pride or the vision or heirs of power. They cannot allow it. So we get what we get there. So it's hard to fight a country, and it's easy to fight a corporation. I'm not seeing any love in the chat, so I'm thinking there might be something wrong right now, but I'm going to look at it right now on the back end while we watch this next thing. Let me see here. Democratic Social. There we go. Let's see what's going on here. Nothing in the chat's working, but I don't see the chat. Okay, that's fun. We're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. All right. Interesting. StreamYard is not giving me the chat, which is totally annoying, but I can see you guys now on YouTube. Thank you all for being here. How is democratic socialism hating? How is that hateful rhetoric unless you're a billionaire? I don't know how people think that's right, how they think it at all. I could pop out the chat, but I cannot get you to but I cannot show it on the screen anymore. How annoying. How annoying. Let me see if I can redo it on this side. Why would that happen? It's YouTube is not feeding me the chat for some reason, but that's okay. We'll keep going, and I'll be able to see you I'll be able to see you. Yeah, it's not working through StreamYard. That's okay. I'll be able to look at you through YouTube. All right, here we go. Let's rock and roll. It's weird. It's Weird Wednesday.
As a director, I now am constantly searching for actresses who can still move their faces.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and I don't blame them. I just pray for like technology to allow for treatments that just aren't so aggressive. Like, there's something so medieval about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I think that it is great that more people are sort of talking about it in a way. I remember seeing like Olivia Colman be like, I love Botox. And I was like, oh, she's so cool.
I
If
know.
she loves Botox. It's cool. Actors, particularly, the struggle is like, that is your instrument. You have to be able to use it, but then you have to go on a carpet. And I've had the thing of people being like, she looks old and dead and awful. And you're like, how do you win? It's impossible.
So
I think that's so interesting. Do you think that the future for women will be that they just need a less of an invasive, less aggressive Botox? I think about that because you should do whatever you want with your face. You want to do Botox, do Botox. You want to do a bunch of gender affirming care like Elon Musk, you do it. Do it. I just think it's not for me. And I think it's sad that we're doing it. I think it's sad. Botox in your face all the time. It's botulism. That's why it's called Botox. It's botulism that they're putting into your face. No, sir, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't know. Do you think that that's the future that women have to do? Like, they can't use their faces and they can't win? I feel that's so sad. Poor Olivia Wilde. Poor Olivia Wilde. I remember she used to say she's vegan. Botox in a pill. Botox. How would we ever do Botox in a pill, though? That's impossible. Botox in a pill. I love the idea. Good morning, Chris Jensen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you very much for being here. Thank you. This is the Morning Sky Show. Skyjack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. Boy, are my arms tired. Let's keep going. How do you guys think about Botox? You know what? I think we'll start a poll right there. Botox cool? Is Botox cool? I mean, it just seems so They're saying it's medieval. It is kind of medieval. You're injecting botulism into your face.
Document is signed August the 2nd, more or less, with some other dates later. And then whatever happens to it, did they fold it up? Did they put it in the Library of Congress? They put it in the Capitol? Where did this document go?
Well, now you're really getting into my obsessions, all right, David? Because this is a thing I've spent way too much time on. This is, becomes embarrassing. So no, you're right that for those first years, 1776 to the period of the Constitutional Convention, it was just sort of hidden away in Congress's papers, not taken any special care of at all. People had to go out of their way to find the text and make copies of it. Then after the Constitutional Convention, what happens is people like Jefferson think that every American should know the basic laws of the
Dude, Mar-a-Lago face is so sad.
country. So that's the Declaration, the Constitution, and then your own state constitution. And so a habit develops of book printings of these texts. But still, nobody's particularly paying attention to the actual parchment. So it's not until the 18 teens, 1820s that, as you know, they start actually trying to take care of it.
It's so weird to me. So they had the Declaration, they had the Declaration of Independence. And they were like, yeah, should we keep it? Yeah, fold it up and stick it in the drawer. And it wasn't until John Quincy Adams, I think John Adams was the 5th president. John Quincy Adams was the 5th president, where he was like, maybe we should make an engraving of this thing because it's turning to shit. And they did. It's like apparently the original Declaration of Independence is illegible. It's completely bleached out. All we have is this reproduction from the 1820s, which is fine. That's only 30, 40 years after, 30 years after the great the Declaration of Independence. But here we are 250 years later, and we have like that one that we always see, the one we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence. I don't know. It seems like people should keep that type of shit line. I mean, I don't know. Maybe things were different back in 1776. They were like, yeah, stick it in the drawer. Maybe we'll use it later. And John Quincy Adams and others, they thought that it was important that you would have, you should know the laws of the land. You should know your rights. Do you think that's still today? Do you think they care about your rights today? That you should have a copy of the Constitution? I mean, it wasn't until way later they put the Constitution in book form so that everybody can read it because they thought that everyone is a member of the public. Even back then, before the 13th Amendment, before the 14th Amendment, there were people out there they were like, you know what, leaders of the nation were like, everyone should know their rights though, right? Everyone should know their rights though, right? And then they said you should have you should know your state's constitution. Buy that book. Get it. I've never read the California state constitution. Have you read your state's constitution? The only time I read it is when someone tells me something's weird. Then I read like a little piece of it. I never sat there and actually read it. Like the American Constitution. I don't know. The club fee of Mar-a-Lago went from $100,000 to $1 million. A bargain. Say, are you going to go do it? You should do it. $1 million, and they don't tip. I have a friend that works there. They don't tip. Is that fucked? They get paid like $2.13 an hour, and they don't get tipped. Well, they have a big tip pool. It all goes on their paycheck.
Is I think that Jefferson.
Anyway.
We're learning more about the White House aide who's garnered a lot of interest since details of her relationship with the president came to light in the new book Regime Change by Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan. Her name is Natalie Harp. Her title is Special and Executive Assistant to the President. He reportedly told the White House staff that she was, quote, the only one who loved him as much as his wife and kids. Randy Kay has more.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Harp, a formerly forgotten American from California.
Her name is Natalie Harp. She's a
formerly forgotten America. Natalie Harp. Who is this lady?
former host for the far-right network One America News. And today, at just 34 years old, is considered one of President Donald Trump's closest personal assistants.
She's just totally devoted to him. In Oval Office meetings, she sits on the chair at the side of the room with her laptop open.
Harp is known for toting around a portable printer and printing stacks of papers and positive press for President Trump on the spot. She's become known as the human printer.
Trump basically just says, Natalie, get me this, or Google this.
I want to read that book, that golden book, The Regime Change, that book behind him. I got to read it.
In their new book, Regime Change, New York Times reporters Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman also report on letters that Harp has left for Trump. Swan described them as odd, adoring, and intimate.
She has written here.
Yeah, he's fucking her, right? He's fucking her, or she's like. It's not worth it, lady. It's not worth it. I don't know, Maggers. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Don't do it. It's not worth it, Maggers. It's not worth it. Jerking off Donald Trump, licking his balls, smelling his diaper. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. They hang you the same as all the other. You can go to jail. He can't. You can.
Numerous letters that she's left for him, including one that says "You are all that matters to me," or some version of that. Raised the eyebrows of the Secret Service during the campaign. Some of these letters that were left in some of his private quarters.
According to Regime Change, Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, asked, "Where am I?" upon learning about the letters. Harp first connected with Trump during her battle with stage 2 bone cancer, thanking Trump publicly for saving her life by signing the Right to Try Act in 2019. She claims that allowed her to receive experimental cancer treatment.
Say, I'm not dying from cancer anymore thanks to President Trump. I'm living.
Donald Trump cured my cancer. Oh my God. We've gone full Billy Graham over here. We've gone full televangelist. Donald Trump cured my cancer. Hallelujah. Donald Trump cured my cancer. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. I ain't got no bone cancer no more because Donald Trump done cured it. Donald Trump done cured it all, and I am 100% grateful. What? You want me to jerk your little mushroom? God damn it. He makes me do this. He makes me do it because he cured my cancer, you know? I try to pretend it's a shake weight. I try to pretend it's... This is how you get to the top in America. They told my mom always said, do anything it takes to get to the top. Oh, God. At least when he finishes, it's only like... It's like a quarter teaspoon. It's okay.
With cancer.
She shared her story and credited Trump again at the 2020 Republican National Convention.
I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you. They didn't give me the right to try experimental treatments, Mr. President. You did. And without you, I'd have died waiting for them to be approved.
How is this more cringy than when Marilyn Monroe jumped out of the cake for JFK? How is this even more cringy than that?
The Washington Post has raised questions about her claims.
Without you, I'd have died waiting for them to be approved.
The Washington
Without you, I would have died, Donald Trump. You saved my bone cancers. Oof. So they cured bone cancer. No one should die of bone cancer anymore. If you're friends with the president, you don't get they could cure your bone cancer. I didn't know.
Post has raised questions about her claims. In Regime Change, the authors report that Harp stays late into the night at the White House when President Trump
How does Melania feel about this?
Is often active on social media.
Natalie Harp is one of the people who took over posting duties to the President's Truth Social post in this term, and that makes her fairly significant.
In May, the Wall Street Journal reported that Harp has frustrated some White House officials because she typically doesn't share draft posts with the Chief of Staff's office, communications aides, or national security officials. The paper also reported that Harp has told others she works for Trump and only listens to him. Soon after Trump began his second term, according to
That must be nice, huh? I only do what my Lord and Savior Donald Trump says. He's a walking God. He's a living God. A living God. I am his one and only true disciple.
The authors of Regime Change, Trump told staffers that Harp was the only one.
This is not a cult, guys. This is not a cult. Shut up. Donald Trump always tells the truth. Buy Melania coin.
Who loved him as much as his wife and kids. All of you will go off and make money, Trump said. She'll never leave me.
One of his closest aides, Natalie Harp.
All of you fucks. Can you imagine? Dude, he says that about his family. All of you fucking ungrateful pieces of shit. You'll all make money. But not you. Not her. Not Miss Harp. She's an angel. She's a harp like an angel. She'll never leave me. She'll never leave me. She'll always be there to... Oh, gross.
Maggie and Jonathan report on how she became the president's gateway to information, supplying him with positive news stories and pro-Trump social media posts. They also write how she would often
Is she the Rasputin? She kind of with a black dress. She kind of looks like a blonde Rasputin.
read the materials out loud to the president and later give him physical copies from a portable printer that she kept on her. According to the new book, Harp, quote, wrote Trump adoring letters that she left in his personal spaces, including one that read, "You are all that matters to me." Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, told others that she remembered thinking, "Where am I?" And that Trump had taken to telling his staff that Natalie was the only one who loved him as much as his wife and his kids, adding, "All of you will go off and make money, and she'll never leave me."
Oh my God. Natalie's always leaving me such lovely little letters. Oh God. Oh no. She loves me more than all of you pricks. All of you ungrateful little losers. I wish I never gave you my name, Donald Jr. Donald Jr.
I mean, Maggie, obviously those of us who cover the president know Natalie Harp. Obviously, she's typically by his side all the time. For people at home, though, and as you're looking at the realm of figures that are surrounding him in the second term.
Nurse Rod wants to know why doesn't Natalie Harp smiles? Why doesn't Caitlin Collins? Why doesn't she just smile more? There she is, not smiling, Caitlin Collins, because her job is not to smile for Donald Trump. He always asks, though, keeps asking.
What does this say to you?
So a couple of things, Caitlin. Natalie Harp became omnipresent in the campaign.
I saw her on Bill Maher, though. She was laughing. She smiled.
And we write about that. She was not one of the original people in 2021 in this very small group of people who was there. But, at some point in 2022, she became somebody who was constantly with him on the golf courses when he was in Florida. Again, they would refer to her as the human printer because she had this portable printer where she would hand him pieces of positive information. What it says is that he wants to keep people around who either, make him happy or feed him information that
Nobody
he prefers to
hates him
hear. I mean,
more
one
than
of the scenes that we have in the book is him demanding the quote unquote real numbers during a tariff discussion when he is being told by his own staff what the actual numbers are. He wants Natalie to go get him some different set of numbers that just didn't.
Natalie, give me the real numbers, Natalie.
Comport with reality. And he is more interested.
We all need a Natalie. I need a Natalie. Why can't I get a Natalie? If Donald Trump can have a Natalie Harp, that's what I need. Every time someone says something mean about me, I'm like, tell me the truth, Natalie. You're beautiful. You're tall and handsome. Everybody likes you, Skyjack Morgan. Everybody. Tell me what else. Tell me something nice, Natalie. You have the biggest sense of humor I've ever seen. Thanks, Natalie. Your epic fury is epic and furious. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. My last live stream only got 5,000 views, only 5,000. The one before that had 20,000, they say. 20,000. What are the real numbers, Natalie? 1 million. You got 1 million on each one. Each one, those numbers on YouTube are lying to you. You got 1 million views. The haters are just changing the numbers. Thanks, Natalie.
In information that he wants to hear and in seeking out something that validates what he believes, that he has always been interested in that. It was just harder for him to get. This time, it is much easier. And Natalie Harp is one of the people who took over posting duties to the President's Truth Social post.
She takes care of his social media. She does everything, man. She's the My Girl Friday.
In this term, and that makes her fairly significant.
Yeah, I mean, Maggie, that part really stood out to me because basically, he was talking to the Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, Scott Bassett, the Treasury Secretary. I mean, this passage of the book talks about what he's hearing from all of these staffers, and he's telling Natalie, go find the good numbers that she had pulled up for him. I mean, it kind of takes you into how he equates his staff in terms of experience and whether they're in the cabinet or a staffer who follows him around.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right. I mean, one of the things we used to hear in term one a lot, Caitlin, and in this way, this is a sort of more of a pure Trump aspect, and we describe Steve Bannon referring to Donald Trump that way and how much pure Trump was coming through. He often would assign multiple people the same job, but not quite like this. He really is just bringing in, sort of direct people who will do what he wants. You're seeing that with Bill Pulte, who is now the Director of National Intelligence, despite having no intelligence experience.
I wish I had I think it'd be a little bit, I don't know, you'd end up abusing that person, right? Who's that obsequious. Yes, Donald. Yes, of course not. Those numbers are lies. You're the best. They have more people at the All-American State Fair, more people than MLK Jr. You had more people than died at Jonestown. You had so many people. You had more people than showed up for the revolution. I don't know. She's so fucking like, you would have to abuse somebody like that at some point just because they're so goddamn like like that relationship never would go well, right? Having this slave creature follow you around.
Intelligence community experience. We have a lot of detail about Bill Pulte's efforts to try to push Trump toward evidence that he believed could help lead to prosecutions of Trump's perceived enemies in the book. The fact that he is now the Director of National Intelligence, I think, speaks to exactly what we're talking about with Natalie Harp in a different context.
I think most people, if you had an employee, because that's what she is, leaving you letters in your personal space telling you that you are the most important thing in your life, you would say, you know what, hon, I think you need to take a vacation.
No, he likes that. You're the only one that matters. To have an employee write that you're the only one that matters to them. Holy crap. I've never had that. I never had anybody say that to me. I mean, I guess girlfriends say stuff like that sometimes, but like leaving it on your desk at work, I don't know. I don't know.
But he instead finds this to be incredibly affirming, and that says more about him than it does about her.
Right. I think that's an interesting point about it, though.
It's
that he would
The Dow is not 50 thou right now.
expect this and demand this.
Yeah, it's on brand. And I think it's even more troubling because it shows that he's surrounding himself with people who adore him. There are no conflicting ideas. There's no one challenging him. So if he wants to do something like bomb Iran, or he wants to do something like use a nuke, or he wants to do something like take out Venezuela, there's not a single voice around him that can offer any kind of contrast or challenge, all the way down to his assistant. Everyone is in this circle of sycophants, which is very, very dangerous.
And you see that.
A circle of sycophants. There you go. A circle of sycophants. This is what hierarchies always will end up doing, right? I'm sure that every one of these guys has some kind of circle of sycophants around them. I don't know. I feel like you would want people that will push back and disagree with you. I don't know. Every time I've built a team, I didn't want just a bunch of order followers. I wanted people that believed in my leadership, but when I wanted them to push back if I was making a bad decision or something, or else you just end up falling on your face over and over again. You got to have people that are like, did you think about this part? Boss, hey, boss, did you think about this part? I think you missed a spot. You go, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. Thank you. Let's not do that. Let's do something else. Any ideas, everybody? Anybody else got any ideas? Like, you can't just be the only one. Give me the good numbers. I only want to hear the good numbers. I just want to hear the good numbers. It's the best. The best numbers.
When all the talk about MK Ultra broke, and then they were talking about lawsuits, and there were lawsuits, and the CIA and the federal government said that this didn't exist, and then they came back and said, well, it does exist, and then but we're not doing it anymore. I guess my question to y'all first is, which lie do we believe? Because
an applause break. Which lie do we believe? Am I supposed to believe y'all ain't gonna give me some LSD, make me crazy, make me see if you can brainwash me? Are you brainwashing me right now? Now, CIA said they didn't do it. Now they say they did it, but they don't do no more. Ding, dang, do. I think that maybe I should do it. Did you give me LSD and my brainwash right this second? Ding, dang.
Thank you. Obviously, there was an open bar before this thing started, so thank y'all. But Dr.
You drunk fucks. What are you doing cheering in these chambers? This is a solemn affair.
Kenzer? Hit your mic, brother. You're not on the mic. It's old CIA trick. Just kidding.
I put myself in the place of one of those senior CIA officers, and I'm thinking to myself, like the ones back in the 1950s, well, other people must be doing this. We'd be falling behind if we don't do it. And nobody's looking over our shoulders. And that, I think, is your job. So I think there is a definite air of urgency and total secrecy. If any current research is...
I like the way this guy talks. He talks like a Mel Blanc character. Total secrecy. Suffering succotash. The MK Ultra team, they got total secrecy that caused the suffering of all those people who got brainwashed.
Going on, and if it's conducted in any comparable level of secrecy to the original MK Ultra, it's
secrecy. The comparable level of secrecy. MK Ultra, they did totally in secrecy. No one's looking over their shoulder.
It's very deeply secret.
But one thing you said, though, it's going to be hard for Congress to act when they're so dadgum compromised. Let's just be honest. Y'all are in the business of twisting ears and telling us things that we've done.
Dadgum compromise. Y'all, it's gonna be real difficult to infiltrate the CIA because it's all doggum. They're also dadgum compromised. Does anybody have any relatives that say dadgum? Fucking love that. Hold on, that's gonna be the new poll. Do you know anybody that says dadgum? 2 thumbs down, says President Reagan. All right, 60% of you wish that you don't. No, only 40% wish you had a Natalie Harp. Oh, I wish I had a Natalie Harp. I wish I had a Natalie Harp. I'd love to have a Natalie Harp. A blonde sidekick that does all your bidding, and she's like super evil but loves you more than anything. I don't know. Having a little like Stepford wife to go and like do your bidding. I don't know. I feel like I could take over the world. If I had Natalie Harp, I'd take over the world probably. I couldn't be trusted with the Natalie Harp. I'm so behind y'all with y'all. Hashtag Zara. What do you mean you're so behind? Don't be behind, baby doll. It's all right. Do you or anyone you know say dag? How do you say it? Dag gum? Dag gum? Dag gum? Dag gum? Y'all so daggum compromise. Y'all so daggum compromise. Daggum.
And that sways a lot of people up here. Somebody doesn't want to wreck a marriage or their business or lose this glamorous job that we have. And so I suspect that has a lot of play into it. So
why is this the only, for some reason, this is the only stream? Oh, I bet you because you're the only one watching on horizontal chat I'm getting over here, but vertical chat I'm getting down here. Wow.
Sorry to interrupt you. I apologize.
All I mean to say is that I think if there are such projects going on inside the U.S. government, there might be a sense that we can do this without any hostile supervision.
What are the possibilities that what we've learned in MK Ultra, now that it is advanced?
What is hostile supervision?
So much to algorithms and the computer and getting to loners, that some of these loners could, through this just mass propagation of whatever you're doing,
Tallulah
could
Riley,
cause someone to maybe take a shot at a president.
I know there's a lot of speculation out there about the Butler shooting, and I guess even the Charlie Kirk shooting. I just hate to speculate because I don't know. I have no firsthand knowledge whether those guys were programmed through radio waves or through their computer activity. So I would never hazard a guess, except to say what I've already said, that they developed means that we've never been told about many, many years ago, and I imagine they've evolved to be much more effective now. So
Let me interrupt you one more time, and I apologize again. But don't you think that they could cast this broad net through these algorithms and other things, and maybe they don't know the exact person it's going to affect, but they know what.
That's exactly what I think is happening. That's crazy. I've been saying this for a long time. You don't need to know exactly who it's going to be. You just need to target groups of people. If you get someone like Thomas Crooks or Tyler Robinson, that's who ends up. That's who they're targeting. They're targeting the gullible MAGA base who have some kind of internal conflict. They infiltrate them. They try to exploit that conflict. Like, I don't know, maybe they like trans people or something. Maybe they watch a lot of trans porn, and they exploit that and they feed them. They target them with the algorithm. They target, maybe, I don't know, radio wave seems a little far-fetched to me, but the AI algorithm doesn't seem far-fetched to me. And then you turn them up. You just crank them up. You get them on Discord. You radicalize them. Like, we don't know how to radicalize people. Shit, if mullahs can do it in a mosque, I guarantee you the CIA can do it through the internet. Of course you can radicalize people. There are going to be people, there are going to be large groups of people who are always more susceptible to this radicalization, to this this brainwashing than others. And MK Ultra was the program that the CIA had to figure that out.
What type of person it's going to affect, and they know it's going to happen.
Exactly.
And that way they can't predict when it's going to happen, but they think it will happen, and then that way they can sort of wash their hands of this whole thing.
Totally. 100%.
And say we didn't have anything to do with it, but in effect they really did, because they put this out there and they continue to put it out there through whatever method you're talking about. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry, ma'am, if you want to jump in.
She's within IH.
Okay, doctor, go ahead.
It sounds to me like you're describing something like the Martin Luther King assassination. The FBI didn't carry it out, but it created such a climate, just denouncing King as the most dangerous man in America and putting out all this material about how he was helping communists. They must have thought, it's going to filter down. Somebody will take action, and then we can say we didn't have anything to do with it.
That's right. And meanwhile, they were sending him letters to tell him to kill himself and shit. Like, they had all sorts of stuff going on. The CIA, FBI, they were working to kill Martin Luther King Jr. They successfully killed him. We don't have anything to do with it. Yes, you did.
And James Earl Ray was a third-rate thief. He made an incredible shot, 1 foot on a commode, 1 foot in a bathtub, leaning out of a window, basically. And the next day, or that afternoon, all the shrubbery was cut in front of the flop house he was staying in. There's a lot on that one that will never be discussed. I have some friends that were there, so I guess I'm on pretty close to firsthand knowledge. But yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at him. Look up going, oh, yeah, how weird. They cut all the shrubbery so that he could get a clear shot. Just coincidence? Maybe it's just a coincidence. Now, the FBI killed Martin Luther King Jr. I don't think anybody doubts that anymore. COINTELPRO, MK Ultra, these were real things. Now we know for sure. And we always knew it anyway. And here we are. And we're surprised. The fact that they're like, nah, that daggum Thomas Crooks, he might have been one of them MK Ultras. Could have been. Might have been. Probably was. I don't know. You think the guy in the gray suit, the guy in the seersucker in the back, the summer suit, you think he's hot? Hashtag Zara. Well, I mean, Washington, D.C. is filled with guys that look like that, working for guys like this dadgum Mr. Burchett. Dadgum.
Hakeem claims he's still behind the wheel of the pirate ship.
I'm going to continue to stand behind every single Democratic incumbent, while, of course, continuing to focus on what we actually need to do for this country, which is to take back control of the House of Representatives.
How are you gonna do that? I think Hakeem Jeffries short timing, man. I think he's gonna get outed. I don't think he's gonna be in power very much longer. Hakeem Jeffries, they're coming for you, Hakeem. Everyone in New York's going Democratic Socialist. The war's coming, man. There's going to be a reckoning between the Nazis and the Democratic Socialists. It's going to happen. That's the age-old problem. In the modern era, we generally call them Nazis and Social Democrats, but we're going to have the same. The Social Democrats were the only party who voted to not elect Hitler. They're the only ones that stood in Hitler's way. Social Democrats, the only ones. Because they had the audacity to say the public is everybody, right? Wait a second. The public is everybody, right? Does the public mean everybody? Here, that's a good. Let's see how many Nazis we have in the chat. I'd love to see. Let's see. Let's start another poll. Is the public everyone? Is the public all of us? Is that it? The public? Is that everybody? Democratic Socialists say yes. MAGA says no.
Hakeem's going to try to hide these crazy communists until November. Mondani, he's got a whole different strategy.
I think we can see from each of these candidates that they have exactly what it takes to succeed. And we've heard from Republicans time and again that they're going to try and make these candidates the face of the Democratic Party. To them, I say that we are ready for that.
Today's Democratic Party is about overthrowing Trump. Tomorrow's party is about overthrowing America. Once communists get a foothold in the party, it's over. The base is going to grab that hammer and sickle and attack anyone and everyone in their path. There's no negotiating with communism. They're here to destroy Western civilization. You heard them.
So Western civilization is a dog whistle for white culture. That's what he's saying, that they're coming to destroy white culture. That's how MAGA hears it. That's how everybody hears it, unless you're a liberal who's like, Western civilization, that's just like, the Greeks and stuff. No, man. Western civilization means white culture. That's what it means. It's a way they invented that term so that white people could take credit for the shit like democracy and philosophy from the ancient Greeks. That's why. Western civilization, though. They always say this. This is exactly what MAGA and the Nazi Party, this is what the National Socialists always say, that they're coming for your Western civilization. They're coming for the whites. Meanwhile, the Social Democrats are like, we're all part of the public. All of us are the public, not just the whites.
Declared war. You can either fight or surrender. Spartacus already caved.
One of the things that makes the Democratic Party great is it's a big tent party. We need to stay that way. The focus has got to be the November elections.
The Democratic establishment doesn't have the stones to put down the revolution. They're already weak, and they're about to get rolled.
You rolled over for Donald Trump. So, the same thing's happening on this side. It's always going to say, this is how it works, man. The National Socialists rise to power. The Social Democrats try to stop them. That's what keeps happening over and over and over again throughout history. They change the names. They're not always called Social Democrats, and sometimes they're called oligarchs. Sometimes they're called slave owners. The MAGA Nazi movement, it could be oligarchs or royalists. Basically a proto-Nazi party. We have a birthright. We were born into this level of power. We, the Louis, the Sun Kings, we were born into this power, and we have a hereditary right to this power. Hereditary right to power. How is that different from the hereditary right of power to the whites of Nazi Germany or to the whites of MAGA America? There's no difference. The aristocracy isn't hereditary anymore. Just your sense of pride, your sense of nationalism is hereditary only to the whites. That's why birthright citizenship just is still being debated, even though the Supreme Court seems to have. The Supreme Court said that birthright citizenship is still a thing, but Kavanaugh in his paper said that Congress could get rid of it with a law, which is bullshit. Nobody believes that except for Brett Kavanaugh. Except for rapist Brett Kavanaugh.
And Jones says book it.
The roof is collapsing on the Democratic Party establishment tonight. It's a power center for the establishment and the insurgency, and they're going head-to-head tonight. And right now, this is no longer a movement. This is a movement and a machine at the same time. And there's just no way to sugarcoat this.
That Caitlin Collins, I sure wish that girl would smile more.
If Mamdani pulls off a hat trick, it is a new era in Democratic
I wish she would smile. She's so pretty, but she never smiles.
Party politics.
One man and one man only is going to defend the wall.
Natalie Harp. She smiles for me. Hey, look, that's Ryan Duffy from The Real World, and he is he's doing road trips with his kids and
A
everything.
hero with a hoodie.
This has just become really
Hero with a hoodie. There's what's his name? Kevin Federline. There's Kevin Federline. John Fetterman. Kevin Federline, everybody. He married Britney Spears.
it's just been the dancing days of the dirtbag left. You know, with some of these candidates are outrageous. You know, you have.
Oh, I like this. Who would you rather have dinner with, Charlie Kirk or George Floyd? Let's do a poll on YouTube. Great question, Ganja Buster. Who would you rather have dinner with? Looks like the public, 95% of you say the public is everyone. Great. Only 5% of you said no. So 5% of you are National Socialists. I'm glad there's only 5%. It looks like 30% of America is National Socialist at this point. A dinner. Who would you rather have dinner with? Who would you rather have dinner with? George Floyd or We Are Charlie Kirk? I think George Floyd. Man, I don't know. Charlie Kirk, everything, it'd be so tedious. I'm sure that George Floyd, you kind of just hang out and chill, you know? Just chill. We are Charlie Kirk.
Candidates, they abolish ICE, abolish the police, abolish the border, and she even said F Kamala Harris and more of these outrageous kinds of things.
So how'd this happen? 70%.
But didn't you, Kevin Fetterman? I mean, John Fetterman, Kevin Federline, John Fetterman, didn't you say F Kamala Harris?
In New York City, non-white. 50% don't even speak English at home. And 40% were born in another country.
Oh my God, let's get those statistics one more time. What do you say?
Kamala Harris and more of these outrageous kinds of things.
So how'd this happen? 70% of New York City, non-white.
70% of New York City, non-white, non-Western civilization. Oh, 70% of New York, non-white. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why is New York still so cool? Oh, because it's 70% non-white. Okay. I know white people in New York.
50% don't even speak English at home.
50% don't even speak English at their home. No! What is this? The loss of our civilization.
And 40% were born in another country.
40% were not even born in America, and they're living in New York City. Could that be because Greg Abbott trafficked them there? How did that happen? How could that happen? How could it happen?
Democrats invited the third world into New York, and now the third world's taken over the city. They imported.
That's not what the third world is. Okay, I get what you mean. You're talking about poor non-white people. They invited poor non-white people into the country, and they're in New York City, and that's why New York City is awesome.
New voters, and the new voters are voting them out. These people want revenge. These communists are here to steal our money. They're here to steal our country.
Revenge for what exactly? I thought white people never did anything wrong. Revenge for what exactly? What do they want revenge for? What do these people want revenge for? So curious. Did white people do something wrong? Did I miss something? Did Western civilization do something wrong? You see, this whole thing about third world countries. So here's what happened, right? So there was this thing called Russia, USSR. There used to be this place called USSR, and all of their friends, and they got together and they were like, we hate America because America is trying to kill us. And the Americans were like, we hate those USSR. We hate all social democrats. We hate communism. We're going to join forces with the Nazis and be basically a real tough cookie. And so we called our team First World, and we called their team Second World. And then, but there's a problem. There's a bunch of little countries that you got to bully, kick the shit out of, exploit. They're not powerful enough to do anything. They can't actually join the fight. They're there to be used. And we called them the Third World. That's why we called them that, because they're not a member of the First World or Second World. They're the Third World, the world that don't matter. So we can exploit them, we can enslave them, we can colonize them, we can mine them, do whatever we want to them, bully them, we can use them as pawns in the Cold War, whatever we want to do. So what happened was, though, when you go to countries like that and you exploit them and you do all the things I just told you, those people are like, well, shit, I got to leave. I got to leave. It's my human right to leave. The Article 13 of the Human Rights Agreement says that I have the right to leave and I have the right to asylum. So they left, many of them, and they came where? Where would they go? Well, you can either go to the second world or the first world. Well, some of them went to the second world for sure. A lot of them did. A lot of them went to the first world too, because they were like, we have all the money. Come here. We got money. Look how great it is. We're going to export our culture in the form of movies, books, TV, any kind of culture that you can imagine. And we're going to show you how great Kevin McAllister has it. Look at that huge house Kevin McAllister lives in. You could have this if you come to America. So leave your third world hovel, you pores. Come to America. And they did. What do you mean they want revenge? What's he talking about?
Country. And once they take our wealth, they're going to give all their people free teeth, free boob jobs, free rent. Everything's going to be free.
Free teeth, free boob jobs, free rent. I think the teeth are good. Boob jobs, I don't know. I don't think that's a necessity. But free rent sounds great. I mean, if you think about it, the average American spends about half of their lives working for the roof over their heads. 50% of their lives. 50% just to have a roof. 50% of your life so that you have a roof.
Buses, grocery stores, hopefully not free cable TV. You know who voted for a lot of these communists? Young white liberal women. That's what you call suicidal.
My lovely, lovely white liberal women. I never said a bad word thing about you.
Empathy. Everywhere communism gets its foot in the door, there's death.
I never said one bad thing about you, liberal white women. I love you, liberal white women. Get on with your bad self, liberal white women.
Poverty and violence.
Where has socialism ever worked, Senator?
Where has capitalism ever worked?
Is that another question, or is that for the next interview?
That's definitely for you. You said fish doesn't work everywhere. I just want to know one place where socialism has been beneficial.
Well, when you have me come back on, we can talk about all the races across the country.
How about right here? Socialism's working great right here. Every popular thing the government does is socialism. Medicare, Medicaid, internet, interstate. Internet, interstate, Medicare, Medicaid, the military, the cops, the fire department, the Great Lakes, the National Forest Service, the National Park Service, the National Monuments, all the fun stuff, the FAA, they keep the planes in the sky when they're actually doing their jobs. You know, all the stuff that we like, housing and urban development, all the popular stuff. Public schools. I mean, public schools sometimes are not so popular, but I think they're pretty fucking pop. People still like them. People still like public schools. They don't want to pay everyone gets to go to school in America. That's a pretty popular idea. Not only that, everyone has to go to school in America. That's a pretty popular idea. Socialism. That's socialism. I mean,
if you think New York's a one-off, wrong. First, you have a communist mayor and congresswoman. Then they run for higher office. Then you have a communist governor, attorney general, senator. Then communists get elected in Chicago and LA. You think they're going to sit back and relax? They're going on the warpath. They're going to arrest you, come for your business, your kids' schools. These people want to hurt you. They want to see you suffer. These are the people
why do they want you to see they want to see you suffer? What the fuck are you talking about? You said that they want me to get a boob job, free teeth, and free rent. What do you mean they want to see me suffer? You just got finished saying they want me to give me free rent. How is that suffering?
Get in your face in the streets, who attack cops, who tear down statues of Thomas Jefferson. They're not here to negotiate Pentagon spending. They're not going to fund the Pentagon. They're here to take everything you, your father, your father's father have earned, because colonizers don't deserve it. They claim they're the victims.
Oh, colonizers, eh? So that's what all this revenge talk is about? Well, you know, colonizers we got to get rid of the colonizer mentality. That's the first step. Stop exploiting. Get rid of the colonizer mentality. And then it doesn't really matter who gets boob jobs, right?
And they're here to get paid. And they don't care how. But there is no way we're going to let them do that. This country did not make it 250 years to get pushed around, especially by these people. We're going to defend our history, our heritage, our property, and our values. And if New York City falls, it's dominoes. So you got to stand your ground. We're not going to apologize. But these people do have more support than you think. They have
Stand your ground. Like Carmelo Anthony did, stand your ground. You can stand your ground unless you're black.
support in high places. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News.
No. Maria Bartiromo. Maria Bartiromo. When Jason posts my sources, a well-researched podcast, and 80% of these so-called MAGA cultist trolls in any given chat are not even American. They are Russian spy bots sent to create chaos and division. I think you're right. I'm going to say, which do you like better? Which name do you like better? Which name do you like better? Social Democrat or Democratic Socialist? I think I like the old school. I like the old school one, but I know those people mostly get killed. But I say, you know what? Use the old word. Kill me for being a social democrat if you want. Do it again.
Well, welcome back. Futures this morning are lower. Take a look. We are expecting on this first trading day of July and first trading day of the third quarter and the second half of the year. Markets are kicking off the second half lower, with the Dow down at 155 right now and the Nasdaq lower by 165. But of course, we had a very strong rally yesterday on the final day of the month of June. The Dow.
How is she like? What the fuck? Did you just hear that? We a strong. She's sitting there saying, look, all this blood red. And then she's like, but don't worry. Everything was great yesterday.
Day of July and first trading day of the third quarter and the second half of the year. Markets are kicking off the second half lower, with the Dow down at 155 right now and the Nasdaq.
Dow is at 155.
Lower by 165. But of course, we had a very strong rally yesterday on the final day.
Don't worry about it. Yesterday was good.
To hit a new record
Yesterday.
high, wrapping up its best quarter.
Bring up the yesterday. Yesterday is green, though. So, let's talk about yesterday.
Since 2022, the Nasdaq was up 26% in the last quarter alone. The second quarter was hot for stocks. Chip stocks this morning look like this. Of course, chip stocks have been leading this
Blood red again.
rally for the first half of the year. But this morning they are down across the board. With the worst performer, Advanced Micro, AMD is down 1.25% right now. Joining me right now for this Fox Business exclusive live from the floor.
Everything's in red. Everything's fine, though, because yesterday it was in green, everybody. So everything's fine. Shut up. Donald Trump's the best. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves Donald Trump. You goddamn scumbag socialist bastards.
Where socialist candidate Malat Quiros is challenging one of the longest-serving Democrats in the House. Quiros is under fire for refusing to say that this firebombing attack on a group of Jews last year was an act of anti-Semitism. The attack set multiple people on fire.
Really? Did she say that? Or are you going to show the clip? Because I don't think she said that.
Leaving a dozen injured, and an elderly woman was killed. Here's what Quiros said about the attack.
Okay.
What the
perpetrator
had in mind when he...
Let's play the clip. I don't know what this guy had in mind. Quiros. Over in Colorado, I'm getting happy. This guy from Colorado, he's such a badass. This guy on the left, he's so hardcore. He's a badass reporter.
Took those lives matters less to me than our responsibility to making sure that people understand that even in the face of these kinds of disagreements, that violence is not the answer.
But you would not describe it as anti-Semitism.
I don't know. I don't know what his intentions were.
The motive does matter.
She said, "I don't know. We have to make sure that everyone knows that violence is not the answer." Did you hear her say that the firebombing thing? Do you remember that thing when the guy he lit himself on fire? He had to take off his shirt. That's why he had no shirt on there, because he lit himself on fire with his Molotov cocktail. But he did take one person out, and he was screaming some Allahu Akbar shit, and he was throwing it at a bunch of old Jewish people who were, just marching, just doing their freedom of speech thing. It was a horrible thing that happened. And was it anti-Semitism? Yeah, probably. But I think as a politician, you're like, I don't know. I just think that we need to make sure that everyone understands that violence isn't the answer. Isn't that what every politician? I mean, she could have said, "Hey, I ain't down with some anti-Semitism either." But you guys want to keep talking about this shit. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page of violence. Let's stop doing that.
They're calling out anti-Semitism does matter, but apparently not to her. This comes after a slate of far-left candidates swept to victory in New York's primary election last year. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is welcoming them into the tent, posting, quote, "Congratulations to our newest members of the NYC congressional delegation. We must decisively address the affordability crisis and crush far-right extremism." But some Democrats are pushing back on the rise of the far left. They are few and far between, but one of them is Senator John Fetterman, who says they do not belong in his party.
John Fetterman, he's making the rounds. Every time someone on the Social Democrat side wins, he's like, "Hey, let's get this John Fetterman out. Let's see what he's got to say about this. He's crazy."
It was a really big night for the dirtbag left.
The dirtbag left. The dirtbag left. Man, I thought it was the scumbag socialist. He called them the dirtbag left. I need to change the title of this video. I called it the scumbag socialist, but no, the dirtbag left. The dirtbag left. When I was a kid, a dirtbag was someone who did drugs and smoked. The kids who were the straight edge kids, they were always dirtbag when they saw anyone smoking cigarettes. Hey, dirtbag. They would get in fights over it. Very bizarre time to be alive growing up in America. The reporter is fucked up by Ramon. No, well, I've done the same. It's not his fault. Not his fault. No, not his fault. Remember when the GOP were throwing huge happy parties to the new housing bill Trump was supposed to sign? LOL. Then Trump didn't and complained about voter fraud for his own election takeover bill. Yeah, it's fun stuff. But you know what? If he doesn't sign it by, he's not going to veto it. So if he doesn't sign it by July 10th, it becomes law anyway. But Donald Trump is such a loser, he won't sign it. I wish that he hadn't, it's funny because he decided to sign because he was ultra pressured and he had reassurances that they wouldn't actually follow the law. He signed the Epstein Transparency Act, but we haven't released the Epstein files. So who's to say if we actually do pass this housing bill, do you think it's actually something's going to happen? Do you think they're actually going to keep corporations from owning 350? Are they really going to say 350? That's the limit, guys. That's the limit. No more corporations.
Last week, without a doubt. And some of the crazy things that they've said, like clearly anti-America, anti-Western civilization between P. Hustle in Maine and some of the other winners.
Anti-Western civilization. Keep hearing that. And what they say when they say that is anti-white culture. Anti-Western civilization means anti-white culture. That's what they're trying to say. They just can't say it out loud. Every time you hear that.
In New York, that's, they should form their own party and run on all the ththings that they've had to delete on social media.
Oh, yes, that's it. They should run their own party. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Fetterman, maybe you should start your own party because you don't even sound like a fucking Democrat. Forget these dirtbag left. You don't even sound like a dirtbag conservative Democrat. You sound like a MAGA Republican. Kevin Fetterman, everybody. Kevin Fetterline. John Fetterman. John Fetterman. Dirtbag.
But just know that election took place last week. The one tonight in Colorado with Malak Heroes. I want people to get to know her a little better. Here's what Heroes said about 9/11. Listen to this.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this.
Was 9/11 an inevitable consequence for America based on U.S. foreign policy?
Yes. 9/11 was an inevitable consequence of American foreign policy. 100%. What the fuck do you think that this just happened? I love that America 25 years after 9/11 still is like, we were just minding our own business and just some shit happened. We just never saw it coming. We have no idea how this could have happened. How did this happen? Hold on. I know I've asked this before. I'm going to ask it a little bit differently because I remember I asked you, didn't America sort of have 9/11? Didn't we kind of have it coming? How about this? Was 9/11 an inevitable consequence of U.S. foreign policy? Was it? Osama bin Laden basically asked us to stop supporting Israel, stop supporting the Saudi royal family and having our military in Saudi Arabia, stop fucking around the Middle East, basically. Stop fucking around in the Gulf states, basically is what he said. Basically, that's what he wanted. I think whether or not you agree with not fucking around in the Middle East, Gulf states, in the Persian Gulf states, the oil states, maybe you don't agree with that. Maybe you think we should be fucking around over there. But that does not give you the ability to deny that the reason why 9/11 happened was because we're fucking around over there. That's why they brought it home. They brought it to us. That's what it was. I think 9/11 just accidentally, they just woke up one day and were like, you know what, you know what would be fun? You know what? We hate them for their freedom. Like George W. Bush with the hate, they hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our freedom. And people believed it. They're like, yeah, they hate us for our freedom. The hell does that mean? What does that mean? They hate us for our freedom. No, they hate you because you bombed their kids. They hate you because the CIA is keeping despots above them in power, and that they're smart enough to realize that their king or their evil dictator or whatever they got over there, because there's so many different versions of the same fucking Nazi shit that's going on in the Middle East. And so they know that the guy on top just killed their family because the family went like, maybe Allah was wrong about, or maybe Muhammad, seriously, then they all got killed. And they're like, who's keeping this guy in power? No one agrees. I don't have any friends that like this guy. And yet this king is still in power. The prince just raped my daughter. The crown prince just raped my daughter. Who is keeping these guys in power? Oh, it's the United States of America. Do you think that they hate us for our freedom? They do not hate us for our freedom. They hate us for keeping them enslaved by these evil despots, for supporting people like Saddam Hussein. Like Saddam Hussein stayed in power, gases on people, started, was at war with Iran the whole time, all that shit. We did that. That was us. That was our tax dollars doing that. All of it.
Inevitable in the sense that we destabilized a lot of the Middle East, that forced people to believe that another act of violence was the only response.
Oh, well, that sounded pretty succinct. That was better than I said. I didn't know that was her answer. I just saw it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that someone is honest enough to be like, yeah, we destabilized that region, which is a nice way of saying we paid people to gas. We paid for gas chambers over there. We paid for sarin gas and all this horrible shit. We paid the Saudi royal family to cut people's heads off in soccer stadiums. And we thought that we could just stay over here in New York and pretend like it's not happening. And the one thing that we should have learned from 9/11, the lesson of 9/11 is what happens to the poorest human beings on planet Earth directly affect the richest human beings on planet Earth. That's what we should have realized. That if it's happening to some poor person making a house out of sand in the middle of the Saudi Arabian desert, if that person is suffering an injustice, it will affect someone in New York City. That was the lesson of 9/11 in a spectacular fashion, because they need spectacle to get attention, right? That's why terrorism needs to be big. Needs to be a big flashy event, or else you just don't pay attention. Well, but we just didn't learn our lesson.
Butch, I am stunned by this. There's another candidate here in New York that won his primary that has similar equivocation on 9/11. That is something we can never equivocate on.
No, let me start by this. Let me give you one.
Are you using that word right? Equivocation. Is there another definition of that word I don't know? Define equivocation. The use of ambiguous, vague, or deliberately deceptive language to hide the truth or avoid coming to a stance. I don't know. I don't think she's equivocating. I think she was very. Was it ambiguous or vague? America destabilized the region. People thought that there was no other choice but violence, and so one could say that it's inevitable. I don't think that was deceptive. I think she committed to a stance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't call that equivocation. Equivocation is basically lying through ambiguity.
One word: freedom. Socialism is not freedom.
What? Fuck you. Oh, God. Look, let's talk about 9/11. No, let's talk about freedom.
I am stunned by this. There's another candidate here in New York that won his primary that has similar equivocation on 9/11. That is something we can never equivocate on.
No, let me start by this. Let me give you one word: freedom. Socialism is not freedom. It's not. I wore this jacket today.
It's just not. I used to have a boss that would do that shit. Like, it's just not. Well, that's not critical thinking. I'm sorry. You can't just say it's just not. That's not going to happen. It's just not. Well, that's not a plan. Socialism isn't freedom. It's just not.
The week of our 250th anniversary, because it represents, it's a jacket that I received when I was at Aviation Officer Candidate School a long time ago, and it represents naval aviation, and it represents that freedom that was fought for the last 250 years, going back even to Valley Forge, when Baron von Steuben was the general that was called in to help rally the troops and teach them while they were going through that perilous time in Valley Forge.
Oh, the Valley Forge, they tell thing they can do. We got to make sure we got to go to all Valley Forge in the perilous times with George Washington and ding ding do naval officers, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. Don't you realize who pays for that? Why do we have a Navy? Well, at some point, we thought that public necessity outweighs private profit. So we decided we're going to pool our resources and create a Navy in order to protect us and promote the public good. Also, employing a bunch of us. A bunch of us will be employed and get VA benefits and all sorts of shit. Get, I don't know, the GI Bill and special privileges so that we can qualify for homes. Home loans. That's socialism, buddy. Socialism is freedom.
Winner, and brought from that, and then we won our freedom from that. And very many individuals that I know, that I've known personally, are no longer with us because they were fighting for this freedom. Socialism is not
freedom. Oh, there was freedom. They were fighting for freedom. Oh my goodness, a Valley Forge. Listen, the first thing that we did was kill the people who thought we should have kings. That's the first thing we did to get this freedom. And then we started killing anybody who sold English sugar. And then we started killing anybody who sold English tea. That's what we did. That's what America did for freedom. For freedom. Now, all of a sudden, people like these Fox News cucks are out here telling me that we should have kings and that corporations should control us. Corporations, we should just give everything to them. Corporate oligarchy is no different than aristocracy of England running shit, or East Indian Trading Company, or the Plymouth Rock Company, whatever the fuck they were called back in the day.
This example is very sad. I mean, she has put herself in the position running for office, and she cannot make a statement on what is very obvious to all about anti-Semitism with what took place and all the details, and she's not able. Well, she's put herself in that realm. She has to make that statement. She has to come out and say, yes, I agree, or no, I don't agree. So on that, it's very sad. So I understand the differences, obviously, in Republican and Democratic type of ideals, but when we go to that far left, is
so what do you think caused 9/11? Actually, that just happened in a vacuum. We were just minding our own business. America never did nothing wrong ever, and all of a sudden, these Muslims just hated us for our freedom. One word, freedom. One word, freedom. Like, that is such a thought-limiting, cliche, cultist type shit. What I want to talk to you about is freedom and Valley Forge and George Washington, okay? Now, George Washington, he knew that freedom was important. That's why he owned so many daggum slaves. He's talking about fucking slave owners fighting for freedom. I don't know how these assholes keep a straight face. One word, freedom. And here's another thing. The slave-owning fucks, they were just corporatists. They were just corporations. They were just early corporations. That's what they were. The plantation was just a corporation. And on the balance sheet, they realized they could sell a lot more cotton at a lower price and compete with England if they kept their slaves. That's it. It was cheaper to have slaves. Freedom. That's freedom. That's not freedom. That's freedom for some. And when you narrowly define the word public, and that only that narrowly defined public has a right to freedom, well, you've got National Socialism. You've got Nazis. There's no difference between, very, very minor differences between the slave-owning Southerners and Nazis, who were also slavers. That's how Mercedes got to be a big company. That's how Volkswagen became a big company. And the Volkswagen, it was for the German Volk, which just means the folk or the public. But they meant a very thin sliver of the public when they said Volk. kind of like when we say Western civilization.
Senator Fetterman said, into the socialist realm, we got to realize, again, like I said, that's not freedom.
No. And Chevalier, who we've covered here in New York, CNN unearthed some of her previous tweets, and they say, no, we're not communists. We're not communists. Oh, wait, the previous tweets, most of the theory I've read is communist.
Yeah, Brian Santos, mercantilism 3.0. Yeah, I mean, mercantilism, I think Donald Trump, at the end of the day, for his foreign policy, when it comes to his economic policy, is 100% just not even 3.0, just 1.0 mercantilism. I don't think he's redefined it. It's the same old shit from the 1860s. There's no difference. He's just he's taken all the stuff that he thought worked. It's not even him. There are people in this world who think that slavery was fine, thought that corporations were great, thought that mercantilism and a zero-sum game where there's winners and losers and adversarial footing between the different superpowers of the world, and they love the idea of spheres of influence and blah, blah, blah. They love that shit, and they want to bring it back. They've always loved that shit. They're called Nazis. They're called Nazis.
But pyromania, I don't know what she was saying there. Pyromania, excuse me, associated with anarchism is very.
Oh my God, I love her even more. Sade impersonator, Daria Lisa Bonet. I love her. Lisa Bonet, Daria Lisa Bonet, like Lisa Bonet from the Cosby Show, and a Sade impersonator. That's her handle. Fucking, I love her. I love her even more. Daria Lisa Chevalier is my new hero. I want to marry this woman. How do I meet this girl? How old are you, Daria Lisa Chevalier? Is she age appropriate? I want to make sure before I say anything. How old is Daria Lisa Chevalier? 32. Yeah, she's age appropriate. 32. You're old enough to know better to get involved with a loner like me. I'm a rebel, Dottie. You don't want to get messed up with a guy like me. Hold on a second. We gotta.
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel.
I'm a loner, Daria Lisa Chevalier. A rebel. Man, I love her even more. I got a crush on. I just found out I have a crush on Daria Lisa Chevalier. I got a crush. Lisa Bonet. I mean, come on, Pitbull. Remember Lisa Bonet? She got with Lenny Kravitz, and they made a beautiful baby. Zoe, what's her name? Her name is Zoe Kravitz, right? She played Catwoman. She's Lisa Bonet's daughter. You have two of the most beautiful, godlike people in the world, Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet. They got a baby, and it's Zoe Kravitz. And, she's a very pretty person. I don't know how old she is. I don't know if that's age appropriate. I got to be more careful when I talk about this stuff. I normally don't talk about these types of things. How old is Zoe Kravitz? 37. All right. She's age appropriate. Nice. I have no idea how old people are because people think that I'm in my 30s, which is always so flattering. Thank you all for being here. My name is Skyjack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech, critical thinking advocate, and I guess someone who has a crush on Liza Bonet Ramsey. Not Bonet Ramsey, no. Daria Liza Chevalier. What a great name. Daria Liza Chevalier. I'm enamored of Daria Liza Chevalier. I want to move to New York City just to be closer to her. Seize the means of production. Nice. Communism now. I'm in. Most of the theory I've read is communism, but the pyromania associated with anarchism is very intriguing to me. Must read further. Hey, Daria Lisa Chevalier is only 32 years old, but she gets me. I just realized Sheryl Crow's Soak Up the Sun is bootstrapped capitalist propaganda. Avila Chevalier describes the Anastasia animated movie as an explicitly anti-USSR kids movie. Yeah, that's what it is. She's right about all this. She's right. I like her. A Sade impersonator. Who doesn't love Sade? What was that she did? What was that famous song? What was the famous song by Sade? Oh yeah, smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago, Chevalier.
Intriguing to me, sees the means of production communism now. Previous tweets from Chevalier.
Yeah, look, she's just showing us who she is, and I think we believe. I was looking at your comeback jacket, McDonnell Douglas Hornet, and I'm thinking about all
Yes, the DSA candidate won. Kiro, is her name Kiro?
the things that you've done. You're the best. You go to space, you do it all. And I don't just say that because we're friends. You're amazing. You're God's gift.
You're amazing. You're God's gift. I love you more than Natalie Harp loves Donald Trump. You're the only one that matters to me. Harris Faulkner, licking boots.
You're one of the shining stars. Why don't we want the best for our country?
You're one of the shining stars.
Why are we choosing people who are not the best? They're choosing things that don't work for us. Like, we already know that socialism doesn't work. People from socialist countries are trying to break across our border. Like, if it worked so great, they'd stay there.
What are you talking about? What? What socialist country? What? What are you talking about?
No, they're looking for what we have here. They're flying high, trying to get here and be like you, follow their dreams and do all these great things. So the Democrats are just drunk on this thought of hiring people who are not right for the job. And what I'm trying to figure out is when Republicans are really going to stand up and start to fight this. Yeah, it's okay to let the other side cook for a little while, but now you're in the fight. We're a few days out now.
This is what this is. This is the Democrats finally standing up to fight Donald Trump. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the response to Nazis. Nazis took over. The liberals are sick of it. Liberals are starting to vote for people like Chevalier. They're sick of all the Nazis. We got a Nazi infestation, Harris Faulkner. You just haven't realized it yet because you're not in a camp yet. Don't worry, you'll get there. You'll say the wrong thing. You'll get in a camp. We're fighting for you. We're fighting for you, Harris Faulkner. For you, Harris Faulkner. It's for you. I'm here to fight for Harris Faulkner.
Now, I know it's weeks, but it feels like just moments to the midterm elections. You're going to have to fight, because if you think socialism isn't on the rise, if anybody thinks that, that's a dirty well of water that we are all going to have to drink from. I don't know that that's not coming.
Yeah, Molly.
Ooh, okay, once again, I got to do a really quick. A lot of people, they like it. I just saw someone say, Nazi, you're literal socialist. Okay, Nazis were National Socialists, and they hated the one group, the one party that tried to stop the Nazis were the Democratic Socialists or the Social Democrats. Nazis, the National Socialists and the Social Democrats, they don't like each other. Why? Because the Nazis, they both want, okay, what they have in common is socialism, right? Which basically means that they want to prioritize public need over private profit. But the Nazis, their nationalist socialists, their national socialism, they require the public to be a very narrowly defined idea. So like white Christian nationalists, German-born people who have a hereditary right to power and supremacy, that is to them what the public is, and everybody else is left out in the cold or murdered or killed or used or enslaved, whatever. And they think that joining forces with corporations and forcing the corporations, coercing corporations, or just working hand in glove with them, they can create public necessity. They can fill every need of the public that they have already narrowly defined. And they're going to do it through nationalism, through patriotism, through jingoism, through chauvinism. Now, the Democrats, the Social Democrats, their idea is that, yeah, we also want to prioritize public need over private profit. But we think that international cooperation, that pluralism, that we are all public, we all are the public, that we need to put the power in the hands of the people and not in the hands of the corporations and the state. That the people have to decide what is the public need. They decide. The public decides what the public needs, and through democracy decides how they're going to prioritize that over private profit. You see? It's easy. They're both socialists. But they'll argue, you're not a real socialist, and you're not a real socialist. No, you're a socialist. It's all socialism. It's not a hard concept. Social Democrats versus Nazis. Or today, we call it Democratic Socialists versus MAGA. MAGA is a Nazi party. They're just National Socialists. They changed the name. They call it alt-right. They call it Tea Party. They call it MAGA. It changes names. But it's just National Socialism versus Democratic Socialism. Get it? You understand? Okay, now let's continue.
It is coming. And it's not just New York. I've heard from like 10 Democrats. It's New York. It's New York. No, it's Colorado, where this Quiros woman might unseat a 15-term incumbent. Hassan Piker says he's going to phone bank for her today. And she's ahead in some of the polling. We'll see what happens tonight.
Well, we keep seeing people talk about how
Hit that like button if you're not a Nazi.
there is this upswing of these far-left candidates who are upsetting the establishment Democratic Party. But I think the really big problem is this is becoming the establishment Democratic Party. And you can show Fetterman saying something against it. Where's Barack
Yeah, exactly how MAGA happened, right? That's exactly MAGA took over the Republican Party. Now MAGA is mainstream Republicanism. Republican Party is now, it's been hijacked by the Nazis. And now the Social Democrats will hijack the Democratic Party. It's going to happen more and more. And as they rise, there will be more and more conflicts between the Social Democrats and the National Socialists. Or social nationalists. We should call them social nationalists.
Obama. You know, Barack Obama's pastor said things very similar to what she's saying right now. If he came out and said that he renounces this, that might mean something. Until then, you have to understand he's really the effectively the leader of the Democratic Party. They were able to put Biden in, who purported to be moderate and then governed as far left as Barack Obama did. That's who all these candidates are. Abigail Spanberger, the governor of Virginia, claimed to be moderate. She's just as radical as this Quiros individual. So this is what the Democratic Party is becoming, and I think the more people realize that, and unless it's anybody more than Fetterman speaking out against it, you just have to assume it's the entire party.
Yeah, and James Carville told me Saturday, look, Hakeem's going to have to deal with this, but Hakeem's not dealing with it. He's embracing it. And then you have Jayapal, who's outright cheerleading for socialism. Watch this, Emily.
Socialism is really popular. So he's trying to turn this into communism when he knows that the ideas that social democrats are running on, that progressives are running on, universal health care, universal child care, making sure that people get paid higher wages, those are incredibly popular.
Respectfully, that shows a massive ignorance of what.
That was Caitlin. That was Caitlin Collins right there next to her, and she wasn't smiling. Yeah. So there's this thing called the Enabling Act, and the Nazis they were able to. It gave Hitler dictatorial powers. Yeah, and the Social Democrats were the only ones. The SPD leader, Otto Welles, delivered a famous defiant speech defending democracy and the freedom for the vote. Yep. All 94 Social Democrats that were present voted against the bill, the Nazi Enabling Act. Yeah. What do you know?
Socialism is. And I see this sort of lighthearted, inappropriate affect that totally diminishing what is frankly a fatal existence socialism. And she doesn't know history. Has she not spoken to immigrants of those countries?
Do you know history? Capano?
That escaped the communist.
Emily doesn't know like anything. She's literally wearing a cross, a symbol of the way a certain anarchist dissident was executed as an enemy of the state.
Block. Has she not read one page of a history book that outlined the devastation and starvation from socialist countries where it's basically just a power grab? So to laugh and call it popular, higher wages is not socialism.
We have starvation here. We've got a very high infant fatality rate here. It's not working. Capitalism is not working, honey pie.
Everything that everything that these candidates have been discussing, the ones that know socialism and communism, are deeply terrifying because they actually do know what it is. And they have thrown some type of sedative blanket over the masses, most importantly, and I think most viciously, the youth. So when she talks about popularity, that's referring to these algorithms. It's referring to TikTok. It's referring to the glorification of communism and socialism, democratic socialism online, which has completely swept college campuses thanks to indoctrinating college.
It's not that hard. You don't have to be indoctrinated by college professors to look around and be like, holy shit, I ain't got fucking anything. I ain't got shit. And my parents at my age had way more than me. My parents at my age had way more. And I ain't got shit. Something ain't working. I went to college. You have to wake up at some point and realize, okay, I worked more than my parents did. I got more education than my parents did. I have more technology than my parents did, and yet they had so much more than me at my age. I've done everything right. I mean, shit, my father killed a guy. He did not graduate from college. He did not have the help his father was a poor farmer. My grandfather was a farmer who worked as a who moved to California after everything went tits up in Nebraska and worked as a maintenance man at a high school. And he owned a house. My grandfather owned a house in LA. Like outright, had it all paid for, had enough money to build an addition, a home addition, had enough land to build another big family room, a huge dining room my grandfather built. He had all this fucking money somehow. He wasn't rich. No education. My father, he was going to college, but then he killed a guy, so he couldn't finish college. And then he was just worked in construction his whole life. And guess what? He had more than me. Holy shit. I remember finding his tax returns, finding out that he was making more than me at my age. He was making more than me at my age in whatever year with doing like adjusting for inflation. He was making like 45-60% more than I was making. And he still was like working class. Don't fucking tell me that we can't wake up. Everyone in every generation's looking around right now and going like, holy shit. Everyone is in debt up to their eyeballs. Everyone living near me is either renting or is under an insurmountable amount of debt that they'll never get out of. 40-year, 50-year mortgages they're talking about now. You'll never get out. You'll never own a house. The banks own your house. We call home ownership. We say that 50% of Americans own their own homes. That's not true. The banks own your homes. You don't own shit. Let me look it up really fast. What percentages of Americans have their homes paid off? I'm just going to look it up very quickly. What percentages of Americans own homes and have their homes paid off? I should say own their own. Okay. Only about 40% of those who own homes, among those who are homeowners, 40% of them own their homes free and clear with no mortgage. This means only 25% of all American adults are mortgage free. Of American are both homeowners. 25 of American adults. Okay, 25%. Homeownership and mortgage-free rates. Okay, I want to know how that paid off homes are more common in rural areas and in southern states like West Virginia, where 50% are paid off. If you're in the middle of fucking nowhere like West Virginia and you're fucking your sister, 50% of your houses are paid off. Great, because your house cost you $50,000. House cost $10,000. Yeah, I paid it off. What do you know? Probably people moved there from New York and shit and paid it off in West Virginia. How does that compare to the rates in other countries? If about 25 to 26% of Americans own their houses free and clear, how does that relate to, say, China, Germany, UK, other similar sized economies? Let's see. Survey says, Google says. Okay. In China, 80% of Chinese, the 80% of the China. Oh, fuck this, man. Look at this. You want to tell me that we're making it just fine, right? Everything's fine in America. United Kingdom, 36%. United States, 26%. Germany, 25%. Look at this shit. In China, 90 to 96% of the people own their own homes. 80%, no mortgages. In United Kingdom, 65% of them have their own home. They own their own homes. 36% have it paid off. 26% in the United States. It's not hard to realize why socialism is going to help us. Why people are looking at socialism when China has 80%. China 80%. Like you can't argue with this here. If China has 80% of their people have paid off their homes and we're at 26%, and this is, I think, the greatest indicator of wealth. How do you afford to have a beer? How do you afford to have kids if you can't pay off your fucking mortgage, if you can't pay the rent? It doesn't take a brain surgery to figure out why people are talking about this broken system. The system is broken. Freedom. One word for you, freedom. I'll tell you, the Chinese in this case, not in every case, but in this case, the Chinese are more free than we are. At the tune of about 80% freer, or 60% freer than we are, because 80% of them own their houses free and clear. That's freedom in my eyes. It's a type of freedom anyway. Financial freedom. I mean, they're still in a surveillance state, but so are we. We're in a surveillance state now. I mean, we are turning into a surveillance state. And like we hold ourselves in such high esteem compared to China. But how are we that different? Are we starting bullshit wars? Yeah, China doesn't do that. Are we infiltrating groups that say bad things about the government? Yeah, so does China. Okay. Are we really sticking it to Muslim people? Yeah, China, they got the Uyghurs. They're doing the same thing. They hate their Muslims. They got Muslims in their country. They put them in slave camps. That's what they do with Muslims over there. And you know that most Americans here, they think the same thing should happen. How are we that different? Because they've got more surveillance? We are building surveillance here. They've got a surveillance tower going up about 15 miles away from my house, saying it's watching the ocean to see if there's any illegal immigrants coming in. Fucking lies.
Professors and the like, and that's why kids are coming home and saying, Mom, I just voted for Mom Donnie. Aren't you so proud of me? It is horrifying to see the disconnect between reality.
Mommy, I voted for Mom Donnie. Aren't you so proud of me? That sounds like a great song. I need to write that song. Mommy, aren't you so proud of me? I voted for Mom Donnie.
Of the lived experience of socialism and what it turns into, and these people and these mouthpieces who are pretending it's Candyland. And by the way, Barack Obama has maybe been quiet, but guess who he campaigned with? The one here, Zoran Mamdani. Yep. So I think he has shown his absolute true colors.
These guys are in New York City talking shit. Move out, bitches. Move out. Go. You will not be missed in New York, Fox News.
Giggling about this. He is grateful about this because the destruction of the party, they don't care, guys. They made the tent so big that this was predictable because remember, to them, blue is blue.
Yeah, and we got so caught up talking about Graham Plattner's sex scandals and everything else.
Villian Thor says Muslims do not like gays. Well, neither do Christians. All you religious nut jobs hate the gays. That's why all you religious freak jobs hate the gays. I don't know why you guys are obsessed.
Look at his policies.
Yeah.
He's part of this wave.
Absolutely. I would note Chevalier previously told CNN, I have grown considerably in the years since her tweets. And I would also remind our audience, it was just last week when she could not clearly tell an editorial board that a murderer should be behind bars. So one wonders when she will grow.
She said that we should find out why people are murdering and we should work to prevent crime so that we don't have to have prisons. That's called prison abolition. Learn about it. Read. Prison abolition. It's this easy. Watch how easy this is. Watch how easy it is. What is the position of prison abolitionists when they say something like murder? What's their position here? I don't get how we would have murderers in the street if we abolish prisons. I don't get the position of these prison abolitionists. This is how easy it is. Prison abolitionists do not propose simply unlocking the cell. Look how fucking easy. Look how easy it is to learn stuff in America. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it, America? Here it is. Look how simple this is. Prison abolitionists do not propose simply unlocking cells and letting everyone walk free. Instead, they advocate for entirely dismantling the prison system and replacing it with restorative justice, community accountability, and social interventions designed to address the root causes of violence before it happens. Oh. How do they want to do that? Well, you're in luck. It says it right here. How do abolitionists approach violent crimes? Abolitionists argue that murder and violence are symptoms of deeper societal failure, such as poverty, untreated mental health crisis, and systemic neglect. They believe that spending on police and prisons is a Band-Aid. They argue that we should instead invest those resources into housing, education, healthcare, economic stability to eliminate the conditions that breed violence. Oh. Huh. So you mean the people over at Fox News like this, like McElhaney, she's lying to me? Weird. And it's as easy as literally talking to your phone and asking what the real position is. Like, wait a second, they want to let no fucking sane person says we should just let all the murderers go, right? That's crazy. Let me ask Google. Is this hard? Like, that's what's so fascinating to me is how fucking stupid everybody still is when you literally have a phone in your pocket at all times where you could just ask all those questions. You can just ask whatever you want. What do you mean? What I don't understand prison abolition. How would that work? Here, this is what the position is. Stupid people. It's so sad to me.
Socialism, it's not just for the Big Apple anymore. Democrat socialist Millette Heroes beating longtime Democrat Congresswoman Diana DeJette in the Denver, Colorado district primary. Watch.
Or as John Fetterman calls it, the dirtbag left.
And to every single progressive running for office in Colorado, across the country, across this state for inspiration, for solidarity. Tonight we saw wins down ballot. We saw Cello win. We saw Iris win. We are winning from coast to coast, from every level of office. We are taking back our party and our country.
So could this be the latest?
I love when they go, this is exactly what they said when Gandhi was like, I think I am going to go and make salt. I am going to make salt and defy the English Empire. And then they said, Mr. Gandhi will soon require the information to discover that the English Empire does not suffer fools lightly. We will not allow you to make salt. The English Empire does not fold so easily to the likes of Mr. Gandhi. And then they chop off their heads. And then England loses and runs away from India with its tail between its legs. And the age of empires is over and the age of nation states begins. How's that going, by the way, the age of nation states? Are we all good with it? Is it working?
That Democrats are losing their grip on the party. Our next guest has been telling us this was going to happen, that socialists would try and take over the party and then the country. Host of Politics in Perspective, Tom Del Beccaro. Tom, is the socialist spread officially upon us with this result in Colorado?
Well, it is, at least in the big cities. And we need to remember that these are candidates that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren to some degree support. So I know the Democrats are trying to say they're from outside our party, but we remember the theme of class warfare and tax the rich and or a wealth tax. These are issues that are embraced by Gavin Newsom on the left coast and on Elizabeth Warren on the East Coast.
As well as Hassan Piker, the far left firebrand. Here's what he
Hassan Piker, man. Hassan Piker always gets such great coverage, man. How do I get that Hassan Piker coverage, man? I need Fox News to talk shit.
Told Fox and said, it's just the beginning. Watch.
I think progressive politics, left populism, a politics
they are
that
scared.
centers the needs of the working class can work in every district, in every state. That's why I kept saying over and over again, it's coming to a city near you.
Okay, Tom, but both you and Hassan actually said a key word in your answers. The word was city. Because it's important to note that John Hickenlooper.
That is important to note. It's starting from the ground up. It's almost like a grassroots movement. It's very scary to see that it's coming from below. We like to take our orders from above. We like daddy telling us what to do. We can't believe that this stuff is coming from the ground up. I think they call it groundswell.
Also in Colorado, but in the Senate, which is the entire state primary, actually fended off his progressive far-left challenger. So what does that tell you about the real potential for this to grow? Is this just a city thing? The state said, we're not going to go so far with a senator. What say you?
Remember in history that the cities are always more liberal than the countryside, but it starts somewhere. So London was more liberal than the countryside, but the Labour Party grew eventually throughout the country. So this is a coming thing within the Democrats that is spiraling a bit. But I'm not saying it's going to be accepted in Indiana tomorrow, but it is a warning sign for the Democrats today as a party. The country sees it on the horizon.
Switching gears to a race involving one of these far left.
I'm telling you, it's trouble right here in River City with a capital P, with a capital T that rhymes with P that stands for pool. I'm telling you, that's trouble right here in River City with a capital T that rhymes with D that stands for democracy. I'm telling you, it's trouble right here in River City. Oh, no. The Nazi party is so terrified.
Just going to Maine now. A new Fox News poll on the Maine Senate race shows that Susan Collins has a small 3-point advantage over Graham Plattner. But more of Plattner's supporters say they're extremely motivated to vote this November compared to Collins. Tom, you...
Collins. I don't know why Susan Collins is still running for office. She has something. She's got this little shaky head thing. How old is Susan Collins? She's 73. Susan Collins is 73, and she was born in Caribou, May. How many terms has Susan Collins served in the Senate? 5 terms. She's been in office for 30 years. She was first elected in 96 and won re-election in 2002, 2008, 2014, 2020. And now she's going to run again at 73 years old after having been in the same job for 30 years. Fuck Susan Collins. I don't care. Look, man, I hate Plattner because of the Nazi tattoo. Maybe you can hold me. You know what? I don't like it. Deal breaker for me. But you know what's a deal breaker even worse? Being 73 and having served in Congress for 30 fucking years. Get the fuck out. Why do we have to deal with the same assholes for 30 years? Get out. Go work something. Go do something else with your lives. You're 73. You have money. Go retire. Have a nice time. Go like play some chess, learn a language, see Paris. Go see Paris. Go to the top of the Empire State Building and look out in New York City. Just look out. Meet the new love of your life. I don't know. Spend time with your grandkids. You're 73. You know how much time left, Susan Collins? You'll be 79. You'll be 79 when you run again. You're going to run again in 2032? What are we doing? Look at this old ass picture of her. I love that they should show a picture of him from 30 years ago. How old is Graham Plattner? How old is Graham Plattner? He's 41. He'd be 11. Maybe they should show a picture of him just to be fair, you know. They're showing a picture of her from 1996. They should show a picture of him from 1996. He'll be 11 years old.
Well, no, you chaired a state Republican Party out there in California. What should the main state Republican Party do with that information, with this latest Fox News poll?
Well, remember that Susan Collins has made a living off tight races and seems to win each particular time. This is an off-year presidential election, which tends to favor the out party, we know.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Todd, these races in the city show low turnout among Democrats. So it's possible that the big blue wave isn't really that big because of these low turnouts. But if
I love that Fox News is, even those photos were like from 20 years ago. Why are you showing pictures of Susan Collins from 20 years ago? Because she's running against a 41-year-old? Is that why?
Every single vote's going to count. There's no question about it. And people need to understand Graham Plattner's positions in addition to the manner in which he draws art.
Posit Track says, my mom is 80, still working part-time and walking 5 miles a day because she doesn't want to stop moving. That's awesome. Fucking great. I think it's great. Do you think she should be a senator? That's the question. I think it's great. I love old people. I love old people. I love talking to old people. I've had lots of interesting conversations. When I lived in Germany, I was really talking to a lot of old people because they remembered the Nazi times, and I really wanted to talk with them about it. And they all were very, very open and told me all sorts of crazy shit. I love talking to old people. I think old people, wonderful. I don't think they should be president. I think that's okay. Call me out all you want. I think old people should be cherished. I think they shouldn't have to work. I think they should be living their best lives in their golden years. They should be reading whatever book they want. They should be going on vacations. They should be doing whatever the fuck they want that's not working. Part-time jobs? Sure, fine. Yeah, cool. You want to work part-time, give yourself something to get out of bed in the morning for? Fine. That's awesome. Wonderful. I hope that when I'm 70 years old, I'm still doing a YouTube channel. That'd be pretty cool. See how far this thing goes. I don't know. I'll probably be doing something. Maybe not going live for 5-6 hours a day, but maybe I'll do it for like 2 hours a day when I'm old. I don't know. Subsidize the oldies, says Navia. Yeah, exactly.
On his body.
Duly noted. Tom, appreciate your insight this morning. Thank you, sir. All right.
All right.
Be sure to like.
I mean, I swear to God, I'm not a Plattner fan, but I'm coming around at this point because I'm starting to get so pissed off about this. Like, We just had Donald Trump throw a big birthday party for himself with the UFC on the front lawn of the fucking White House for himself, a birthday party. And then he called it America's birthday party because he is America. That's fucking Nazi shit, man. That's Nazi shit. Stop doing Nazi shit. If you stop doing Nazi shit, you wouldn't have all these social democrats fucking coming out of the woodwork. No one would be listening to them. No one would be listening to them if everyone could pay their rent and go on vacation and get a piece of the American pie. But no one has a piece of the American pie because people like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and Bezos and Donald Trump himself are eating the pie. Tim Cook, all these guys, they ate the pie. You get the crumbs. Americans are going to start standing up at the table and saying, we want our piece of the pie. You took my pie.
Good morning. I'm Ali Velshi. You're watching MS Now election coverage. We've got major breaking news coming out of Colorado in the 1st electoral district. Melat Kiros has defeated the long-term incumbent Diana DeGette in the Colorado's 1st district, which is the city of Denver, the entire city of Denver. 78% of the vote is in right now, and the Associated Press has been able to project that Melat Kiros has won. Her lead has grown in the last hour over Diana DeGette. Diana DeGette has been a member of the United States House of Representatives since 1996.
I thought about moving to Denver. I thought Denver would be a cool place to live before I chose Albuquerque. I'm moving to Albuquerque, if you don't know. And I thought about moving to Denver, though, because Denver's cool. I like Denver a lot, but it's cold. I can't deal with that cold, man. I can't deal with that ice cold. What's cooler than cool? What's cooler than cool? Hey, guys, what's cooler than cool?
Was born the following year.
Tell me in the chat, what's cooler than cool? Jack, but my mom knows she couldn't do politics and way out of touch with the younger generation. That's it, Positrack. So is Donald Trump. He's way out of touch with the younger generation.
Has not been alive for as long as Diana DeGette has been a member of Congress. Diana DeGette is now the 5th member of Congress, the 5th incumbent who has lost their primary in this election cycle. The 5th Democrat, that is, by the way. 2 of them were in Texas, but those were redistricting fights where incumbents or former incumbents were up against each other. The last 2 were last week in New York, where Adriana Espaillat in New York 13 and Dan Goldman in New York 10 were defeated by insurgents who were supported by the Democratic Socialists of America and Mayor Zoran Mamdani.
Okay, but who's Wanda James? I don't know. Is she even more... What's the position of Wanda James? What is her political affiliation and outlook? Wanda James is a Democrat. She serves on the University of Colorado Board of Regents. She ran previously in the Democratic primary for U.S. Congress. Okay. She's the first Black woman to own a cannabis dispensary in the country. Oh, she's a former naval officer. I don't know. I don't know who Wanda James is. She only got 7%.
Melat Kiros is supported by the Democratic Socialists
Ice
of
cold
America and Bernie Sanders. So this is now the
Thank
third
you. At least
incumbent
one
who has been
person
met by a
got
challenger
it.
and has defeated the incumbent. So Diana
Yeah,
DeGette will
cold.
not be the candidate, will not be the representative for Colorado's 1st district starting in January of 2027. Melat Kiros will be the candidate moving forward into the elections on November the 3rd. I want to tell you what else has gone on across Colorado tonight. This is another bit of news that was not expected. Michael Bennet, the longtime senator, was running for governor. He lost to Phil Weiser, who is the state's attorney general. Got to do a bit of a bitter argument about which one has done more to fight Donald Trump. Phil Weiser, the attorney general, quite handily defeating Michael Bennet, 85% of the vote in right now, and Phil Weiser ahead by 10 points. Let's look at the Senate primary in Colorado. This is another interesting story. John Hickenlooper, the senator and prior governor of the state, has won with 85% of the vote in, but look at that margin. This is a sitting United States senator challenged by Julie Gonzalez, who is a challenger from his left, who got 43.6% of the vote. So you can see that there's a theme developing across a lot of these races across the entire country.
I mean, she didn't get close, but I mean, 43% ain't bad for a lefty.
A lot of people who thought that the New York race was a standout by virtue of how liberal New York is, because in those races in New York, when a Democratic Socialist beat an incumbent, those seats are not going to change hands. It doesn't affect the balance of power in the House of Congress. In this particular case, it's less obvious. When you get to points further west out in the country where the Democratic Socialists do not have the same presence that they have, this becomes a bit more of a question as to the direction of the Democratic Party. Now, a lot of critics have come out and said these kinds of things are dangerous for the party come November, because it'll be used by Republicans to suggest, as Donald Trump has, that the communists are taking over, the socialists.
The communists are taking over. Oh, look out for those communists. Look out for them. They're coming. They're coming. Look out, they're coming. They're going to take over.
Taking over. But there's a lot more nuance to why some of these Democratic Socialists are actually winning. There are a few things at play here. Number one, outside money. What tends to happen is Democratic Socialists share the view of many younger Democrats about U.S. support for Israel. And what tends to happen is the incumbent or the person running against them ends up getting the support of AIPAC and its affiliated groups. So that's one of the things at play. The other one is generational. As I said, Milat Kiros has not been alive for as long as Diana DeGette has been the member of Congress. We've seen that in various...
She's not been alive for as long as Diana DeGette has been in Congress. Hold on a second. Hold the phone. How old is Diana DeGette and how long has she been in Congress? Oh, come on. Come on. How old is she? She is 68 years old and she has been in office since 97. 30 years she's been in office. Oh my God. I mean, it's time. It's time. Milat Kiros. All right. How old is Milat Kiros? Is she under 30? Is that true? She's that young? Oh my gosh. How old is Milat Kiros? Survey says. Come on. 29. She is younger than than Diana DeGette's whole career, dude. This is what we fucking need. Again, Generation X just gets skipped. But hey, I mean, even the millennials. Well, she's 30. Is she still a millennial? She was born in 1996 or 1997, right? So she's young. She's still a millennial, technically. A millennial, Milat Kiros. Diana DeGette is 68. She is generation. What year was she born? She's born in the 60s, right? She's Generation X. So Diana DeGette is Generation X, and Milat Kiros is millennials. Nice.
Various races. We saw it in New York's District 13, where Adriano Espaillat lost to a much younger challenger. We saw it in Texas, where Al Green lost to a much younger challenger. There's also this internal debate about moderate.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. She was born in 1957. She's not even she's a baby boomer. Diana DeGette is a baby boomer. Milat Kiros is a millennial. So again, the Gen X got skipped. Generation X always gets skipped. They always said they would, and they are. They said it when I was a kid. They said Generation X is getting skipped, and they were right. They got skipped.
Versus progressives. Obviously, those who are members of or supported by Bernie Sanders or Zoran Mamdani or the Democratic Socialists of America are progressives. They're on the left side of the party.
Yeah, I was off by 2 years. She's technically 57. Well, 3 years. I was off by 2 or 3 years.
Versus the moderates, although I will say Diana DeGette is not thought of as anything other than a progressive. And then fundamentally, there's this fighters versus folders idea, and that may be a lot of the frustration amongst people in the Democratic Party who feel that some of their leadership and their House-endorsed candidates, remember, every incumbent in the Democratic Party is supported by the Democratic Party by default. That is a position that some Democrats feel the party shouldn't hold.
John Fetterman thinks that they're all dirtbag lefties.
Want the person who they think is going to fight most for them to be elected. The other thing is the Democratic Socialists of America, as part of the Democratic Party, when they're running as Democrats.
Don't forget to subscribe, everybody. Yesterday, I had a lot of people watched the stream yesterday, but 0 new subscribers. What the hell? Come on, guys. Hit that subscribe button. You're going to let Midas Touch get to 7 million? Midas Touch is going to have 7 million subscribers. You're pro-Democrat. You guys just love the Democrats, I think. Everyone who loves Democrats, don't subscribe. If you think the Democrats are kind of like, meh, but you kind of like social Democrats. I don't know. We're getting new.
Talk a lot about affordability, which
hit that subscribe button if you like independent media.
It is the number one concern that people express right now. The dissatisfaction with Donald Trump as president, the dissatisfaction numbers are highest as it comes to his handling of the economy. The economy and affordability were central campaign issues for Donald Trump, upon which he has not delivered. In some part, that's because of the tariffs that he imposed. In large part, it's because of this war with Iran that nobody was particularly looking for, but that increased the price of fertilizer, diesel, and gasoline. So Democratic Socialists do tend to have policies that are very directly related to housing affordability, to subsidies, to child care,
sure
universal
do.
health care, funding of health care, higher minimum wages, and those types of very explicit policies, including policies around the climate, that incumbent Democrats, some feel, have not leaned into as heavily as others. In this particular case, though, I will say Diana DeGette has not been a target of people who have not thought she's progressive enough, but Melat Kiros is definitely a lot more progressive. Melat Kiros, by the way, is an immigrant to the United States. She was born in Ethiopia and immigrated to the United States, grew up in the Denver area. But here we have 78% of the vote in, and the Associated Press is able to call her as the victor in that race. I will say that Colorado is one of those interesting places in which the vote is almost all done by mail or in advance. There's very little vote that comes in day of. I did talk about New York, so I just want to remind you of what we were talking.
I love how somebody says we aren't a democracy. Go back to high school. Go to civic or take a civics class. We're what's called a Republican democracy or a democratic republic. That's why they call us the Democrats and the Republicans. But the Democratic Republic, the idea is that it's democracy filtered through the oligarchy. That's the idea. The elite get to filter the will of the people. That's called democracy, or what counts for it in a republic. It's a democratic republic. That's what it is. That's what it's called. It's a type of democracy. So anybody who gets in the chat and says, we're not a democracy, is a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sick of hearing it. Go back to high school. Learn about the different forms of democracy. Learn about the ancient Greeks and why the Enlightenment, why Americans were so into this neoclassical idea of imitating Greek style of republic. Please. Or just read any of the books called Republic. There's lots of them. Or Das Kapital. Or, there's all sorts of fun ones. You can read Machiavelli's Republic. Fun stuff. Read. Or, ask Google for the crypt. Or, ask AI to explain it to you. Ask AI to explain it to you, please.
Reaction. Fox News contributor Reince Priebus. So we've been talking about this, and it began as somewhat isolated. It began with Graham Plattner. It began with, El Sayed. It began with James Tallarico. First it was Mamdani, then it was the Squad. It's like growing and growing, but
it's growing and growing in response to the melanoma that is MAGA Nazi movement. The National Socialist movement is growing, and so the social democracy movement is growing. That's normal.
The scariest part to me is that mainstream Democrats, if you want to call them that, their silence is deafening here. What do you make of that part?
You see, the thing is, Sean, you'll call them all crazy communists anyway. You made your whole career off of that, calling everyone, even moderate Democrats, you call them crazy communists. People like Chuck fucking Schumer. He's crazy. He's a communist. He's a Marxist. Stupid people like that have caused this problem.
Well, thanks, Sean. I make of it that this is where the horsepower in the Democrat Party is. This is the Democrats' future. We talked about this last week. And this district in Colorado that you talked about tonight with Kiros, I think it's the most Democrat district in Colorado. It's the district's almost entirely the city of Denver, a little bit outside the city, but not much. And so last week when these socialists won in New York, you heard the media say, well, this is just, urban New York. It's not really what we're all about. But now we're going to Denver in their most Democrat district, and we're taking a poll of Democrats, old Democrats, young Democrats, and saying, who do you want? And who do they want? They want a person identifying with the social Democrat Socialists of America, the Justice Democrats, whatever they are, which would be great.
They want justice. That's why they're called that.
To find out who's funding all of this. She's calling for Medicare for all, defunding the police.
I tell you who's not funding it. Israel.
At the end of immigration enforcement, she's talking about no money to Israel. She wouldn't condemn, by the way, don't forget, there was the Boulder incident, the bombing at the outdoor mall, and the people were out there simply praising the fact that Israeli hostages were released. There was a bomb that went off. She wouldn't even condemn it until she got shamed into doing it. It's an attack.
But she did condemn it, though, right?
Attack on the American identity. It is an attack on freedom and opportunity, patriotism. It's an attack on who we are as Americans.
Freedom.
And it's in Democrat strongholds. The reason
it's an attack on freedom, everybody. It's an attack on freedom and American life and the Western civilization. It's an attack on the whites.
Can't speak about it is that they're the ones that want to speak in the Democratic Party. They can't. You know why? Because they're not going to fit into.
Clicking the link in the chat does nothing. Are you sure? Watching Humans says clicking the link in the chat does nothing. Let's do another invite. Let's do it here. I'm going to do another one. Here you go. Let's see. There you go. Watching Humans. I'd love to hear you. I'd love to have you on the show. You can also just put in StreamYard.com/RBCGIUBJ6. It's only 9 characters to remember. It's only 9 characters. Or you could screenshot it and tell your phone to extract the text and then copy and paste that into a browser. There's lots of ways. I don't know if you're using a phone or not. You could copy and paste if you're on a laptop, it's really easy just to copy and paste. But thanks for doing it. Anybody can call in. Go ahead and call in. I'm going to go ahead and check the. Oh, Watching Humans is here. You're here. Watching Humans. How you doing? What's the deal and how you feeling? Oh my gosh, that's how you're gonna start. What up? What up?
Well, I feel my freedom's being infringed upon. I already have less freedom than I did, before I was watching Fox News. I can feel the freedom being taken from me as you play the clips from Fox News. I wasn't aware of the lack of freedom until Fox News let us know.
Freedom. It's an attack on freedom. All these social democrats over in Colorado and New York City are attacking your freedom. Didn't you know?
It's amazing to me how this word socialism creeps up, and all of a sudden people are worried about it as if it's ever happened in the history of Democrats being in office.
Yeah,
and listen. Okay, so you got socialism, or you've got a country of poor people and billionaires. I mean, I don't even think socialism's worse than the other one.
Yeah, but Watching Humans, and everyone should subscribe to Watching Humans on YouTube. But Watching Humans, you're welcome, of course. Watching Humans, it has happened before, and we beat the Nazis. It did happen. The Social Democrats got into power. They were called the FDR Democrats, the New Deal, and they created jobs. They built that Golden Gate Bridge. They did all sorts of stuff that was really in the height of the Great Depression. And then they set off to kill Nazis, and they did. They won. So
That's socialism?
That was socialism. That was.
That's gross. That's terrible.
I know it sucks, but they won. So when you say in the history of socialism, like the Democrats have never done it, they did do it. And then they killed the Nazis. That's what they're really afraid of. They're afraid of social democrats waking up and killing Nazis.
Sure, because Nazis are in the White House.
Yes, that's it. That's what they're afraid of.
They throw in these words that sound good to dumb people, and you could just take a tiny segment from what you just played, and it's a threat to us as Americans and what we are as Americans. And just stop and ask yourselves, what are we as Americans? What does it mean to be an American?
What do you think it means to be an American?
Well, you know who always pops in my head is that white trash dude that jumped in front of the camera yelling about the Biden crime family, and he had beer, barbecue, and freedom on his shirt. And I was like, okay, I understand most people like those things, but this is what our country means? Like, this is your life? You don't have more to contribute to the world than the fact that you like beer, you like barbecue, and you think freedom is unique to our country.
I think they thinks that my ability to consume barbecue and beer, it's consumer. I'm a consumer,
right?
And that's what freedom is. My freedom to consume.
Be an obedient servant and keep buying and getting fat and unhealthy.
That's it. Yes. I mean, I think
good for you.
I don't know if you and I ever talked about what you did during the pandemic, but one of the things that became shocking to me, having worked through the pandemic and seeing what all the businesses did, what McDonald's did during the pandemic, it seemed to me that every time I heard people complaining, it was always about, we can't go shopping, we can't go to the restaurant, we can't go to the bar. And it's always like, is that what your life is? Just consuming?
Yeah. No, that's what we did not talk about this, but that is exactly my takeaway from it, because I'd already kind of separated myself from that world. So the pandemic didn't change things much for me.
Yeah.
I was just a little bit astonished that people were mad that they couldn't go places and be seen eating in public. I was like, oh, wow, you've really lost your meaning as a living creature, huh?
Well, not only that, a social creature, right? Human beings love being around other human beings, but they don't like they've been trained not to actually talk and socialize. They want to go to a restaurant, sit and be on their phone near other people. You know what I mean? They don't actually want to.
Good point. Good point. The social.
You're moving.
Yeah, the social part isn't even there anymore. You're pretending that you value.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. No, you're there. If you stay still, you're usually.
You're pretending that you're losing social. Okay. If I say still, my brain stops working.
You're losing. It'll drop data packets. But go ahead. Yeah, they're faking social interaction, right? They get to talk to the server, but even now, that's now becoming less and less. They're ordering through their phones, and the food comes to them in the restaurant.
Yeah, or it comes to your neighborhood on these leaf blowers on wheels. In San Francisco, it's just leaf blowers on wheels everywhere. The scooters. Oh, I was enjoying my day, but somebody had to get food delivered.
Are they that loud?
Oh, they're like a plague of fucking locusts here.
Are you talking about like little Vespas? Like there's a human being riding on them? Or are you talking about the robots? Yeah. Oh yeah, the humans. Yeah, no. In LA, they've got little boxes on wheels that don't make so much noise, but they go to your house and they open up and there's like, here's your food.
Oh my God, that's already happening.
Oh yeah. They're like little robots, and they drive around LA, and they even have a little name on them so that people don't. But people do vandalize them, of course.
How big are these things?
They're like I don't know, like the size of a dog, I suppose. They're like the size of a like a golden retriever or something. Maybe a little bit smaller, but they're heavier.
Wow. I'm old because all these things scare me now. Change scares me.
Well, I may or may not have kicked a bunch of them over. I may or may not have stopped them and put stickers on them and stuff. I vandalize them frequently when I see them. I dislike them intensely. They're even taking that, like the delivery jobs are even going away now. Like they're even going to take that away because of people like you who don't like the sound of Vespas.
Look, let's go back to the value of humans. I look at these people that go around on the cheapest piece of shit vehicle that they could legally find, and that should be illegal. And this is what you contribute to the world. You pick up orders and drop off orders. I don't feel sorry for these people. Fucking get some actual value. How are they supposed
to pay rent? They can't pay rent.
Fuck them. Well, I'm tired of feeling sorry for the superior species. Figure it the fuck out. You're the superior species. You spend the entire rest of the day telling the world that you're better than everything else here, and yet I have to feel sorry for you because you can't figure out how to pay rent without being a piece of shit.
Oh. I don't know that delivery drivers are pieces of shit. Maybe we should pass laws against the corporations that build those Vespas so that they don't make so much noise. Maybe that's the way. Maybe it's the corporations that are building the Vespas that are the problem. The scooters.
Sure. Well, I mean, we can always pass off the blame, but at the end of the day, people make a decision. You know, my counter argument is that there are ones out there that are quiet. You have the option.
They can't afford them.
Oh, fuck them again.
Why are you always blaming? You're just as bad as a conservative Democrat blaming. You're like a Republican blaming the wage slave. Okay. The wage slave is the problem.
It's nothing like me calling in here to get Skyjack to start sounding like a Republican. Go ahead.
I'm not a Republican.
Praise Trump. Now I'm on here. Start singing some praises for Trump.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you love him when you say you blame the wage slave. Well, they could buy a different scooter. The other scooters are more expensive. Maybe we should. There you go. Bootstrap. They should pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay rent in San Francisco because that's doable.
You know what? Most of them look like they could use some walking or an actual physically powered bicycle.
Yeah.
If you're that poor, fucking bicycle. Don't buy a gas powered machine if you're that poor.
Well, the gas powered machine is probably probably required by Uber Eats or whoever they're working for, right?
Okay, fine. I'm happy to take down Uber Eats.
Take them down.
Take them down.
Take them down. What are you taking down the wage slave for? Always blame the wage slave. Everyone always blames the wage slave. Damn it, these slaves. If they don't like working on the plantation, why don't they just escape?
I'm sorry, Sky. Send me the script before I call in so I know who to blame.
No, that's why I like call-ins, because it's you never know what you're gonna get. That's what's so fun about it. But watching Humans, what's your take on all these social democrats becoming getting power now? They're starting to.
Oh, it's the end of the world. Obviously, it's the end of America.
It's the end of America. You're not afraid of them? You're not afraid of these social? Do you think San Francisco is going to be the next to fall to the scourge of social democracy?
No, because our population's been infiltrated with Republican billionaire children.
Yeah. But maybe they'll virtue signal their way into democratic socialism. Stranger things have happened.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. For a while there, San Francisco wasn't even like going after shoplifters. It was lots of interesting policies over there.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. That isn't that a recurring theme in government? It's like whoever is in power fucks up so badly that you're ready for anything and everyone else. I mean, was that part of the plan to have somebody who wouldn't prosecute criminals? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's not liberal. That is not woke, people. We don't support that. We don't support that. Do you Republicans really think that we want that?
I don't care if people are prosecuted for shoplifting. I don't shoplift all you want. It's already built into the pricing anyway. Like they already charge you knowing that a certain percentage is going to be stolen. They've already adjusted their pricing at CVS for that. So go ahead and steal what you want. I don't care. It should be free anyway. Medicine should be free. Condoms should be free. What else do people buy at CVS? What do people buy at CVS? What were they stealing? Shampoo? Shampoo should be free. What do people buy at CVS? What were they stealing? I kept on seeing all these people stealing stuff. What are they stealing? Razor blades for their face to shave? Free. Make that free. That's fine.
I don't know if yeah, I mean, I think it's the escalation that's the big problem. When people see that there aren't any consequences, then they take it to the next step and the next step.
Yeah, I guess like I guess so. That's a slippery slope argument. People will steal more if you allow them to shoplift. What will happen next? I don't know. Nothing happened though. People just got upset. People were just upset that people were stealing at CVS. They saw it. It didn't look good. People going into CVS and walking out with anything they wanted. I thought it looked good. I like the idea of just walking in and taking what you want with your get what you want with your good look. Liquor? Nah, they weren't stealing liquor at CVS.
Well, they have that locked up.
They got that locked up. The liquor's locked up. Liquor and cigarettes are always locked up. You're not allowed. You can't steal that.
Trust me and Sky. We've tried to steal things and everything that we want is locked up.
Every once in a while, beer isn't locked up. Sometimes at CVS, if you go to a CVS that has beer, sometimes that's not locked up. Maybe they were stealing beer. Fine, beer should be free. I'm okay with that too.
All right, I gotta go steal some beer. That's your fault, by the way. I'm gonna put that blame on you for.
It's my fault that you're stealing beer.
Well, you put the idea in my head.
It's a mind virus. That's all right. I'm okay with that. Yeah, everybody. I'm just here to tell you, beer should be free. Vegetables should be free. Bread should be free.
Wow, your version of socialism sounds pretty good.
Yeah, everything should. The necessities of life should be paid for. Do you think that shampoo is a necessity of life?
No, I don't use shampoo.
Do you think it's a necessity of life? Some people need shampoo.
Is the fact that I look as good as I do and don't use shampoo not proof that it's not a necessity?
I don't think that you are. One individual. I'm sure you look great. You look great with your hair. I can't see your hair right now, but I'm sure it's wonderful. But just because you don't use shampoo doesn't mean it isn't a necessity. Some people need it.
No, you're misusing the word need. You've been taught as a consumer.
Can you get a job if your hair's not clean enough? If you got nappy ass oily hair? Some people got really oily scalps and stuff.
Well, I use the ocean and my hair looks really good after the ocean.
Okay.
That's free.
Not everyone has access to the ocean. I guess I don't know. If you think you need shampoo, grab it. I don't know what you want, man. Okay, I'm with you though. It's consumerism though. If I take your position, then I would say, hey, if everyone got shampoo for free, then they wouldn't advertise it so much, and fewer people would say, fuck it, I don't need shampoo.
I think deodorant is a really big scam. I think people who use deodorant develop odor issues because their body doesn't know what to do with all these chemicals underneath in their pits. Like deodorant, like addicts,
Yeah.
Stink. They stink.
They do. It's usually because they're eating really poorly. Since I haven't used deodorant for like 20 something years.
Okay,
and,
didn't you at one point in time in your life think that was a need?
I guess I liked girls, and I thought that was necessary to get them, and so
Right.
I guess I thought that was a need. But I also think that when you eat shit, like before I was vegan, I think when you eat shit, you smell like shit. You ever know people that eat a lot of barbecue or something, and then you get close to them and you're like, holy shit, like it's coming out of your pores. You smell like garbage. You smell you smell like rot. I've known so many.
The absolute worst days in the bathroom came after heavy drinking and meat eating.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And fast food. And I think that people who eat a lot of fast food and a lot of garbage and like a lot of animals and stuff, they smell like shit. So like actual shit, like they smell like shit. Like they smell like actual shit and like feces. I'm not saying like metaphorically they smell like shit. They smell like fecal material. And so I understand why they need deodorant, because they don't want to smell like fecal material. They want to go get a job. They want to eat.
This is another example. This is another example of humans pretending to be superior, not being superior, because I can smell, now that I don't wear chemicals, I can smell humans coming from like half a mile away. They just spray all this fucking nasty shit on themselves to try and cover up the fact that they don't smell good. Maybe you should just smell good.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't use that type of stuff. I understand if you're going out on a nice night on the town and you want to like wear it as like a fashion accessory. Like I understand when women want to wear a little perfume as a fashion accessory or something. I get it. But this necessity of wearing a deodorant in order to cover up your own stench because you eat like a fucking garbage disposal, I think that is necessary. But isn't that like a root cause thing? We need to get to the root cause of why do Americans smell like fecal material?
Yes, and let me give you an example from nature that I find fascinating. Nature doesn't stink. Like you walk through a forest and it's full of animals. You'd think it would smell like fecal material because it's not like they don't shit.
Yeah,
and
they're shitting all over the place.
Now let me weird people out. In order to prove this, I stoop down and I smell different animals' droppings. And guess what? It doesn't stink. Like that should make you think, wait a minute, why doesn't shit stink in nature? And why does ours smell incredibly bad? I know again, within a mile, if I'm coming to one of those portable outhouses that they provided for human convenience. I mean, that is the only thing that stinks when you're on a nature hike.
Yeah, you're right. Is the porta johnies? Yeah, it's so funny you say that. You're right that, but then I immediately think, well, the diet of most animals is like a plant predominant omnivorous but diet. Like even a squirrel is an opportunistic omnivore, right? We think of squirrels eating nuts and seeds, but if they come across a cricket, they're eating the cricket, you know. But it's very, very seldom. It's they don't eat animals all the time. But I've never smelled tiger shit, so I don't know what tiger shit smells like.
Okay,
but I have
so we're very limited on our carnivores, but I have smelled coyote shit. And
oh yeah, so have I. But they're omnivores though too. They usually
right. I
have
find berries. I find berries
and
shit
seeds
quite often. Yeah.
Well, on hikes you see scat from coyotes all the time, and there's always berries and undigested seeds and stuff in it. Yeah. Even raccoon shit. You see raccoon shit on if you go hiking, and it's usually got a bunch of seeds and berries in there too. And they eat everything. They're like true omnivores, right? They'll do anything. I guess bird shit smells pretty bad, but they're small. They don't shit so much. But like if you see a bird shit does smell bad. That's pretty gross. Like anybody who's ever been shit on by a pigeon knows that stuff doesn't smell good. But they're eating garbage. Like
I was gonna say, we could probably break that down into the shit of different birds, like an urban bird that has learned how to live off of human trash. Yeah, I bet you that one's shit stinks worse.
Or like seagulls that only eat like ocean animals and stuff, and like their shit smells pretty bad. I guess
I don't know. I'm surrounded by it right now and I don't smell it.
You don't smell it, but if you were on like a rock where they were all shitting, you'd be like, oh my, you'd be overwhelmed. But I guess you're right. Americans, our shit stinks because we eat garbage all the time. We eat fast food, and we probably don't actually need as much soap as we use or as much deodorant. Like, we should not be using this stuff all the time. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Right. Americans consume a lot of soap too, more than most countries, and yet we're still dying of all these diseases. So obviously the soap isn't doing much for us. Anyway,
I'm sure our
duck shit smells disgusting, and they're eating plants and seeds. Do they? I don't know about. I know geese. I see a lot of geese, a lot of goose shit at the park, and I don't think goose shit smells bad. Is that what ducks are eating? Ducks. What do ducks eat? Are they just eating seeds? I don't think so. What do ducks eat?
I think they dive down and they eat algae. They eat some of the stuff growing on the bottoms of lakes. And
so, according to this, they eat aquatic plants, seeds, grains, small insects, worms, and tiny fish.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a broad spectrum of.
Yeah, like that's the thing about birds. They're like real omnivores. They're not like us. Like
plastic,
when you see a real,
got plastic. They eat a shitload of plastic.
They eat a lot. They eat plenty of plastic. I don't know if that comes out in the shit to stink though. Well,
there's an island
smells icky.
There's an island, a part of the Farallon Islands out here. When I used to go out to the Farallons, called Sugarloaf, and it's white because it's just covered in different types of bird poop, and you can smell it. You can smell it, and I don't think I'd classify it as smelling good, but we're talking about a massive quantity, like the entire island is poop.
Yeah.
But there's also a redefining of smells, because there's that smell that you're like, yeah, I wouldn't classify that as great. But then there's the human outhouse smell, which is just intolerable, like astonishingly bad.
You're right that the amount, like the intensity of a human outhouse, which isn't just feces, by the way. I mean, urine is a very powerful smell too, all that ammonia and everything in your urine. So I'm not sure what smells worse, like because the average human, I looked it up recently, pisses between 5 and 6 times a day. So if you're peeing 5 or 6 times a day, that means way more urine than feces in these porta potties. And that's probably what you're smelling more than anything, is the gas being released from the pee.
Very possible.
So anyway, and urine, by the way, is in the animal kingdom also the stinkier thing, right? The dogs pee on stuff in order to leave their scent behind. They don't poop on stuff to leave their scent behind. Which I guess like birds, that might explain birds though too, because birds don't have a pee-pee. They have a cloaca, and their poop and pee come out at the same time. So maybe this is why. Maybe we've just now discovered why bird poop stinks. And it's not about their diet. It's about the mixture of urine within their poops. There you go. I just discovered that's why it's runny. Okay, we got it. We answered the question. Thank you everybody for being here and knowing and now learning about why birds poop smells bad.
And with that, I will say goodbye.
Thank you so much, everybody, to subscribe to Watching Humans. Thank you, Skylar, Tom. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too. Good luck with your move.
Oh, yeah, it's coming up. 26 days I have to move.
Okay.
So fun. The house inspector is coming today. Oh, man, my home inspection is today for my move. I'm selling my house and I'm moving. I'm a climate refugee. I'm moving to New Mexico, so that I can weather out the storm of climate change. That's my new line. Yes, Frankie Berry blows your mind. Yeah, I think it's because pee and poop come out the same hole with birds. I think that's why. I think that's a good reason. Let's see a little bit more
where
about
the movement in their party really is. That's why they can't talk.
All right, let's go back to New York and the 3 people that were endorsed by Mamdani.
For anybody who doesn't know, my name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and coffee addict. If you cash app to Skyjack Morgan or Venmo Skyjack Morgan or drop a super chat right here, it'll help me buy coffee. Thank you so much. I'm moving. I need money. I have to pay everybody all this money. I need to beg more for money. I keep forgetting to beg for money, but damn it, I need money because everyone's taking money from me. Everyone's taking money from me. Everybody's taking all my money because I'm moving. And that's what happens when you move. All the vultures come and pick your bones. That's what happens. You are now out there in the open, unsafe, and everyone, all the scavengers start picking the meat off of your bones. That's me. Morning Sky, Skyjack Morgan, the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you. Super chats, please.
You have this one woman,
or Venmo, Skyjack Morgan, or Cash App Patel, Skyjack Morgan.
Unseating, long-term, serving member of Congress, calling for the government to seize the means of production, private property, people's homes. She has called for the police to be abolished, wants to abolish America's prisons, America's borders. She doesn't want anyone deported, not even a criminal illegal convicted of rape and murder. A day after October 7th, she attends a pro-Hamas rally in Times Square in New York, and once bragged about using the American flag to wipe her hands. Now, if you would have told me...
She joked about using an American flag to wipe her hands. Oh, by the way, American flag. Pride Month is over. It's time to use the American flag again. Let's use the American flag. I'm going to wipe my hand with the American flag right now. Here we go. Jasper Johns. We do Jasper Johns. Keith Haring. I think Keith Haring. Yeah, let's Keith Haring was gay, so we're gonna kind of ease out. There's the Keith Haring electric child American flag.
5 years ago, that there'd be prominent Democrats that are being endorsed by other prominent Democrats, or the silence of Democratic leaders over somebody that radical, I don't think I would have believed it.
Well, I mean, none of us believed that you Republicans would totally go full Nazi. I honestly thought that people like, I don't know, people like John McCain, who's dead, and people like Mitt Romney, who retired, would stand in the way of people like Donald Trump. I guess McCain did stand up to Donald Trump to the day he died. But Mitt Romney, he tried for a while, but then he gave up and left. He said, it's not worth all the death threats I'm getting from MAGers. Literally, he left because he said, I have to pay so much money just for my personal security. This is what he said. I have to pay so much money for my personal protection that I can't stay in Congress. Mitt Romney. And it wasn't the liberals who were attacking him or sending him death threats. It was MAGers because he stood up to Donald Trump. I honestly thought that these conservatives would still think like, yay, go America. We love America. Let's not do full Nazi stuff, right? We're not doing full Nazi stuff, right, guys? Turns out we're doing full Nazi stuff.
There was a quote that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Interestingly, that came from Joseph McCarthy. Well, yeah, Edmund Burke got credit for it, but it was really Joseph McCarthy, actually.
Joseph McCarthy? You want to quote Joseph McCarthy? Are you sure? Are you sure? The architect of the Red Scare? Is that really what you want? You want a witch trial? You want a witch hunt on your hands? You want to bring people into the house of un-American activities? House un-American activities? House un-American activities. Is that what you want?
Said that originally and made it famous. And so, he was criticized, obviously, for some of his tactics.
Yeah.
But the truth is that this Democrat Party is I used to say when we laughed about it, I said, they're on the wrong side of normal. But these guys need to speak up for the sake of our country. This is not.
Yeah, we need fucking Nazis like Walt Disney and Ronald Reagan turning in communists. That's what we need. We need to start a new witch hunt. Let's ruin people's careers because they criticize the government. That's American for you.
Not normal. This is not American.
This is a stalking which Reince Priebus is defending and quoting Joseph McCarthy. Joseph fucking McCarthy. I mean, I can't believe that I'm living in a world where people like Reince Priebus is quoting fucking Joseph McCarthy like he was one of the good guys. He was a fascist. Nobody thinks he wasn't a fascist. Was Joseph McCarthy a fascist or what? He was not a fascist in the ideological sense, but rather a demagogue who weaponized the fear of communism for personal and political power. While fascists advocate for dictatorial state control, McCarthy used the specter of communism to subvert American democratic principles such as due process and free speech. So not totally a fascist. He was what's called a demagogue. Historians and political scientists widely classify McCarthy as a demagogue. He preyed on the public's legitimate fear of Soviet espionage during the early Cold War to build his own fame and intimidate his political rivals. McCarthyism relied on authoritarian tactics that mirrored fascist methods, making baseless, sensational accusations, smearing opponents as traitors without evidence, and creating a climate of fear and conformity. There you go. I cannot fucking believe they're quoting Senator Joseph McCarthy. I can't believe these. I can't believe these Democrats are silent when it comes to social democracy, to democratic socialism. I can't believe they're silent. I can't believe I just watched Reince fucking Priebus, who used to work for the White House, quote Joseph fucking McCarthy. Does anybody even remember who Joseph McCarthy is?
American. It is happening all over their party. They're condensed to cities. When they get into presidential elections, they become a party that can't win. And that's because the people out there in the middle of the country see what's going on. And they say, you know, I don't want to be a part of it. I mean, in many ways, it's a gift to the Republican Party, at least temporarily. I mean, look, we're going to be in every district in America saying in Kansas and in Wisconsin and Michigan, look, do you want this over here? You want the Trans Bill of Rights like the Kiros wants that you mentioned before? Or do you want...
Yeah. I can't wait. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's happened before. Do you want to have frozen rent like in New York City? Or do you want to have like places that like Arkansas where they have the highest percentage of 80% of the houses are owned by... What state has the highest percentage of corporate owned homes, single family homes? Maine and Montana, 31%. Alaska, 27%. Hawaii, 26%. Smaller investors versus about 85 to 87% of all investor-owned single-family homes are held by small-scale operations or individuals owning 5 properties. Institutional landlords. Atlanta, I think where we were talking about in Georgia. There's places in Georgia that have up to 85% of all the homes are owned by corporations. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We're going to have situations where you're going to say, do you want to have that? Corporations owning all the fucking houses?
You want families at the kitchen table talking about the values of our country, right? So from a political standpoint...
Is that a value of our country, Reince Priebus, that corporations should own all the fucking housing and then no one can afford a pot to piss in?
Hey, it's great for the Republic, but you know, it's horrible. What's happening in our country. And the Democrats are reduced to 3 things. They improved in only 3 places in 2024 over 2020. They've improved with unreligious people, they improved with rich people, and they improved with people with advanced college degrees. All the while, Donald Trump is delivering now, we hit almost a low in gas. Consumer confidence is up in June.
What the hell? We did not hit a low in gas. We know we have not. That's a lie. Consumer confidence is not up.
Unemployment is very low. Layoffs are...
Unemployment is low because everyone's fucking poor. So yes, unemployment's low. That's true. It's at like a 3 or 4%. I think it's at 4% right now. What is the unemployment number right now? 4.3%. Not that low. 4.3%. That ain't great. I'm sorry. 4.3% isn't fantastic. Unemployment is about where it's been since 2018. Some of that. I don't know. It's been about 4% for a long time. It went up, of course, because of COVID, but
are very low. So both, our party needs to triumph all these.
Not very low. I mean, unemployment at 4.3% is like normal. If you pay, I've always had to pay attention to that because I was a hiring manager, and you could tell you're like, why aren't I getting more applicants? Oh, it's because unemployment's at 3%. Oh shit. So if you're hiring, you kind of want the unemployment to be higher. It sucks, but that's the way it was. And during COVID, I opened a business and we were inundated we had hundreds and hundreds of applications, and it was really difficult because unemployment was so high. So you kind of want that sweet spot. And usually like between 4 and 5% is fine.
Successes, but the Democrat Party and their leadership they need to say, look, this is not good for America.
Well, you would think so, right? I will say this. These are uncharted waters for a midterm election. We've never had a party this extreme, either Republican or Democrat.
Yes, we have. It was in response to the Hoovervilles. Donald Trump wants everybody living in tents in the street. We have Trumpvilles now. We used to have Hoovervilles during the Great Depression, and now we have Trumpvilles. And I know a lot of you are probably watching going like, hey, what the fuck, man? You've got internet, everything's working just fine. Yes, sort of, except we're all struggling. A lot of us are struggling. And some people are really, really struggling. I'm struggling right now. I'm fucking struggling. And a lot of people are struggling far more. And I'm not okay with it. I struggle. I don't want people struggling more than me. There's people living in fucking tents. They're living in tents. And I see on Fox News, they begrudge the city of Los Angeles building pod homes. That's what we're doing all over the world. Have you guys seen this movie called Welcome Table? It's on HBO right now. It's a documentary about climate refugees. It's such a good, I loved it. The ending's a little, I loved it though. I always hate the endings of documentaries because it's kind of like, well, what should we do? And there's like, not like... the ends of documentaries, you're always like, thank you for showing me the problem. What's the answer? What should we do? Well, that's up to you to decide. Fuck you. Why'd you make this movie? But anyway, great film. I really liked it. It's called Welcome Table or The Welcome Table. It's really good. I liked it a lot. And they're showing around the world, they're building pod hotels, pod villages for people who can't live they're living in tents. And a lot of these pod villages were built for people who were already disenfranchised, already dehomed. And now those people are being displaced because the people who have had homes and had their climate ruin their homes, they're moving into the pod spots. And the people who were slated to go into the pod spots are being kept in the street in fucking tents. Trumpvilles. Now we have Trumpvilles. Bunch of people living in fucking tents. Blame the governor. Sure, blame the mayors if you want. But at the end of the day, it's the federal government who's screwing you by allowing corporations to run roughshod over you and your fucking parents' corpses.
Watching this unfold is going to be fascinating.
Right, fucking freebus. Tell me a joke. Make me laugh, Gutfeld. You can always make me laugh. Greg Gutfeld, the funniest man in late night television.
Thank you. Thank you. You are the wind beneath my pants. Good evening, everyone.
Affordability didn't even exist until Biden's woke scientists started claiming it does. Trump only just invented groceries. Trump invented groceries, everybody. There's never been such a thing as a grocery until Trump invented it. And then Zoran Mamdani ruined it because he wants to have 3 grocery stores. Just ruining it. Dang it. The word affordability didn't exist until Biden.
And so big news, the Supreme Court upheld laws banning biological men from competing in female sports.
Yeah. Ding dang do, Raul. Thank you. Ding dang do.
Also today, the Supreme Court ruled that children born in the U.S. to parents who are in the country illegally are entitled to birthright citizenship, which is great news for my maids.
Why are they all... They're all Asians, right? Anyway, it's not that illegal. First of all, what the fuck isn't illegal? It's not that they're illegals. It's that everybody who's born here has birthright citizenship. That's the fundamental truth of Americanism. Why do you hate America? Why do you hate America? That's my question. I think I need a new poll in here. 85% of you guys said no when it came to the question. Where is it? Did I just delete it? All right. You said no when we should not bring McCarthyism back. Hold on a second. So wait a second. Birthright citizenship. Should we have it? Is if you hate birthright citizenship, you hate America? Question mark. Yes, you fucking hate America if you hate birthright citizenship. That's one of the fundamental things that this country was based on as a product of colonialism. But still.
Thank God you put the black bar over their eyes. Don't want them suing me. In a recent interview, former President Barack Obama pointed out that two things can be true, like how George Washington was a great leader, but also owned slaves. It's also like how he can love Michelle, but also hate waking up every morning next to her. Not really a joke.
No one really laughed.
A New Jersey public school recalled its yearbooks after a picture of Hitler as an infant was found among the student baby pictures. Frankly, I'm not sure how this one got past the editing room.
All right, that's kind of funny. Somebody snuck a Hitler baby picture into the New Jersey high school yearbook. And look at little baby Hitler. He's so cute.
How could you kill a little baby like that? I wouldn't go back in time.
He looks like Charlie Chaplin.
According to a report, a prominent...
Charlie Chaplin was a child molester who I think she was 13, his cousin.
AI chatbot has been telling its users that J.D. Vance has rabies. Sounds ridiculous, but not when you consider it happened right after he appeared on a particular show.
All right, that's 2 for 2. That's two jokes now. You got me going. Greg Gutfield's telling funnies today.
Put some applause on that one. To mark the opening of New York City's...
Because you actually made something funny happen. That was funny.
Pools, Mayor Mamdani jumped in while wearing a suit. But they had to close the pool afterwards since the filter was jammed with 3 pounds of eyebrow hair.
Oh, that's a little kind of... That's oddly racist or something. I don't know. Does that feel racist to you? The eyebrow... Hey, guys, in the chat, just let me know. I'm not going to do a poll. Does that sound a little racist, saying that 3 pounds of eyebrow hair... Seems a little, I don't know. Is that racist? It sounds racist. I don't know if it is racist. I mean, the guy doesn't have that thick of eyebrows. His eyebrows aren't even that thick. Does he even have a unibrow? Maybe he's got a unibrow. Maybe he shaves that centerpiece. I don't know. I mean, everyone's got to do their own thing. Not everyone's blessed with a giant forehead like mine. Actually, he's got a big forehead too. Big forehead crew. 5-head crew. 5-head crew. Got the 5-head crew. I think John Mamdani's got a similar head as... But I got my eyebrows are just, these are just them. Sometimes I got to trim mine too because I'm getting old and sometimes they get kind of long. I mean, sometimes if I push it up, you could see that like my eyebrows are like, they're pretty long. I don't know. I don't pluck them though. I just use a scissor sometimes. Is it racist or what? Yeah, it's racist, says Jen Batch. It seems a little racist, right? No, he said no. Positrack says no shit. Hey, but if it was the norm at the time, Trump made Democrats his bitch. You commies are so hated. Communists, it's literally the opening line of the Communist Manifesto is that morons will always call anyone they hate communist. I mean, it's called the specter of communism. The specter.
The Great American State Fair has themed booths for almost every state, like Nevada's Las Vegas booth, Texas's Alamo booth, and California's Uncontrolled Fire booth.
My Skyjack, my cat just bumped me when I was loading and it hit no instead of yes. Your percentages are going to be bid off. Oh, that's okay. Cats, they're fascists. We all know about that, about cats. Cats are supremacists. Good thing they're small. Good thing cats are small. Because if they were big, basically they would run the world. We'd all just be eaten by them constantly.
Yeah, bring your marshmallows. And
hold on a second, I missed the joke.
Uncontrolled Fire booth. That is Las Vegas booth, Texas's Alamo booth, and California's Uncontrolled Fire booth.
That's kind of funny because we burn a lot of shit in California. It's true.
Yeah, bring your marshmallows. And finally, according to scientists, plants contain a hidden switch that tells them when to make wood. Many life forms, of course, make wood automatically.
Well, I mean, at least you know that he probably can. I mean, I don't know. He's pretty fucking old. He's 80. He's 80 years old. Bill Clinton. I think he probably. Do you think Bill Clinton can still get it up? Should we do another poll? We should do another poll. Can Bill Clinton still get an erection? No, that's a gross. I don't want to do that. Is it gross? That's too gross. Is it racist? It doesn't seem racist. That doesn't seem racist. Ageist? Is it ageist? At 80 years old, can you still get your epic fury up? My epic fury, I hope it still works. Actually, I kind of hope. I don't know. That's a double-edged sword. Do you really want it working when you're 80, or do you just wish that you can just like, nah, I don't want to think about that anymore? I don't know if I still want to have that drive anymore. You know, at 80, do I still want to have that drive? I don't know. I don't know. Do we have any 80-year-olds in the house? Are there any 80-year-olds in the house? Oh, the blue pill, the blue chew. Maybe though, like you could take a pill and you could turn it on, I suppose. But why? I guess because you just want to feel good. Watch some porn or something. I guess maybe if Hillary's feeling it, I guess. I don't know. That must be so weird when you're 80 and the drive just kind of like because you kind of run out of testosterone. You're kind of running out. I don't know. I guess, I mean, what's his face? De Niro and Al Pacino, they both had kids in their late 70s, early 80s. Do you really want to do that? I don't want to have babies when I'm 80. You won't even get to know them. They'll be like 5 when you're dead. You'll be 5 and they die. I don't know. You're half 80, Sayard Yan. Do you want to have an erection when you're 80? I don't know.
So after turning New York City red, the Democratic Socialists of America are going nationwide. Michigan, Wisconsin, Colorado all have DSA candidates running for office. When in a perfect world, they'd be running a falafel stand in downtown Gaza. So how are
That seemed racist too. That seemed kind of racist. Is that racist? Was that racist? They should be running a falafel stand down in Gaza. Seemed a little racist.
responding to a movement that
I used to love. Do you remember? Does anybody remember Ali G? He used to be like, "Isn't that a bit racialist, mate? Isn't that a bit racialist?" He used to say that. "Isn't that a bit racialist, mate? I think that's a bit racialist, isn't it?"
openly calls for revolution, not with resistance, with an invitation. They bend over like Joy Behar when you drop the last Twinkie. I wonder if candidate for governor Phil Weiser is absolutely a big tent person who believes in diversity of viewpoints.
I am absolutely a big tent person who believes in diversity of viewpoints, who believes in finding common ground on our values and fighting for people.
Wow, what a douche.
It's kind of funny that you think that would make him a douche. He wants to fight for the people. What a douche.
The big tent, the party's new defense. Invite crazy people into your home who in your living room.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's so funny to me that Republicans have a big tent too. That's how they got taken over by the Nazi Party. And the Social Democrats will take over the Democratic Party. I've been talking about this for years. I was kind of hoping for this for a couple of years, right? I've been hoping that for this for a while, that there would be a groundswell of true leftism. Maybe it's finally happening.
But hey, we're a big tent party focused on the ordinary concerns of everyday Americans.
That was really racist and also genocidal. Yeah, I guess it was a little genocidal. Falafel stand in downtown Gaza. Seems a little racialist. Isn't that a bit racialist, mate?
We are a big tent party focused on the ordinary concerns of everyday Americans. And we have robust and sometimes rambunctious arguments. We've got all kinds of candidates across the ideological spectrum who are getting elected. And I think the thing they haven't.
Raul Duke, you're 55, Raul Duke. Let me ask you just, Raul Duke. Raul Duke, do you want to? We're gonna take a poll because clearly this is not going to be. If you hate birthright citizenship, you hate America. Yes, okay, most of you agree. Okay, how about this? Do you still want to have erections in your 80s? Do you still want erections in your 80s? I guess the question is, do you still want to have a sex drive in your 80s? I kind of when I'm in my 80s, I kind of want to be like, man, I've had my heart broken so many times by these women, These women have really run me ragged. These women have put me through the ringer, these women. And really by that, I mean, I put myself through the ringer by chasing women around. I put myself through that ringer, right? I can't really blame the women, but of course I will blame the women. Oh, these women have really put me through the ringer. They've broken my heart so many times. Oh, dang it, these women. I think I just want to do crossword puzzles and read from now on. When I'm in my 80s, I think I'll just read. I just want to read. Just want to go to the park, feed the fucking ducks, do whatever old people shit. That old people life sounds pretty good, especially, like feeding the ducks and stuff. I don't know. Let's see what you guys say. I put in the
common is that they're finding ways to center the concerns of ordinary people.
Everyday Americans? Is that what we're calling people pursuing the end of everyday Americans? If Jeffrey Dahmer had a chance to win, they'd say that being anti-cannibal is racist. Imagine Republicans saying, we're a big tent, there's room for Nazis and fascists. We're not saying that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Listen to what this asshole just said. Listen to this guy. Listen to this shit.
Of everyday Americans? If Jeffrey Dahmer had a chance to win, they'd say that being anti-cannibal is racist. Imagine Republicans saying, we're a big tent, there's room for Nazis and fascists.
That's what you do. There's room for alt-right and MAGA. That's what you did. That's why there's no such thing as that elephant means nothing anymore. That symbol means nothing anymore. Because you said we'll let fascists and MAGA in.
We're not saying that. The Dems are. Remember, the so-called Democrat Socialists want to overthrow the government. And their disgust for Jews is palpable. Hell, one of their prime candidates has the tattoo loved by Nazi concentration camp guards. But Dems excuse that as a diversity of viewpoints, as they mob Democrats for not hating Israel enough. Because attacking you for your viewpoint is also a viewpoint. But a big tent only works if everyone inside wants the tent to survive. Here, they're letting in people who reject assimilation.
Leaf says, my wife is 14 years younger than me. My answer is yes. Ooh. I guess the age gap could really do it. But maybe when that means that she's 66 and you're 80. At 66, maybe she's not going to be so into it, man. At 66, maybe she's all dried up. She don't want that shit either. What if she at 66 and you're 80? Maybe you don't want them anymore. You don't need the erections anymore.
And cooperation, two things necessary for survival. According to the DSA's platform, they want to abolish the presidency, electoral college, Senate, police, prisons, and private industries.
Love it. Love all those. I love all those things. Let's go, Democratic Socialists of America.
Basically everything. It's like the guy from the gas company coming over saying he'll fix that leak as he lights up a stogie. Democrat socialism enters the Democrat Party the way an invader enters a home. They show up dressed like someone they're not. A FedEx guy, a cop, a Kenyan who says he's from Hawaii. That's why they call themselves Democrat Socialists and not just socialists. Remember, these rats...
No, they call themselves Democratic Socialists because they used to be called Social Democrats and Nazis killed them all, just like you're talking about. You're talking about killing them. Let's not split hairs here. Greg Gutfeld is suggesting that we should go kill all of the socialists, even though he himself is a socialist. He is a national socialist and he hates the Social Democrats.
Mess with the language first in order to screw you later. It's that first word that gets them through the door. Like when I tell security at Kudlow's parties that the password is ticklish. It's no different than open borders or trans and women's sports. Agree to it and it destroys the place that you're compromising. You allow a destructive element into your environment and you watch it affect everyone else there. And when the Dems invite people openly advocating on behalf...
Or like allowing MAGA to fester like a open wound. Republicans could have prevented this by keeping the MAGA out, but you didn't. You embraced the Nazi. When Republicans went Nazi, you let them in and you let them destroy your party. Tolerance will also kill the Democrats, by the way.
Of terrorists, they will call it tolerance. But tolerance is irrelevant. Groups and organizations are defined by what they don't tolerate. You don't have dudes and girls sports. The Girl Scouts wouldn't let in Jeffrey Epstein. Mr. Olympia won't give a trophy to Chris Christie. And even Spirit Air wouldn't let Stevie Wonder be a pilot. The Dems took standards and rules and defined them as bigoted. So that today, even objecting to letting in the wolf at your door is hateful. But the moment you welcome people whose goal is to destroy the thing you built, you become an accessory to the crime. In this case, the murder of a once great form of government called democracy. The only thing you find under a big tent is a circus, which is exactly what the Democrat Party has become.
Period.
Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's still finishing her point from last week's show. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno.
Emily Campagno. It's just like this show is so interesting to me. They just have all of the rejects from the rest of Fox News come on the show. I wish I could have a show like this, a bunch of assholes sitting around talking shit about the government. I love that. I want to do that. How do I get a show like that going? I need to have a show like that. I need to get some guests that want to talk about politics with me. You know, why do all of Gutfeld's jokes, dumb jokes, need a picture to the punchline? Because he sucks. He's not a real comedian. He's an insult comic. And he's only funny when he's insulting people. And he insults the same people over and over again, so it's not very funny.
You may recognize him from eating Thanksgiving dinner at Denny's. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissa.
It's always just the same people, which I think is fine because you get like that kind of sitcom, you know, you get the same people that you like. They rotate a little bit, but they're built mostly the same guys. I love that vibe. I wish I could have a show like that. I don't know anybody. I need to meet some people. Maybe in Albuquerque, I'll meet some politically minded people that want to hang out and talk to me. Maybe they will. Maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. I can't tell. Anyway, no more Gutfeld. That's it.
Daria Avelia Xavier is one of several far-left candidates who have shocked the Democratic establishment this current political cycle. Their success raising questions about the future of the party as they say, that their movement continues to grow.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, and to stand up to the billionaires who are rigging our economy.
Can a Democratic Socialist get elected president?
I think a Democratic Socialist can get elected anywhere across this country for any position.
We want to demonstrate that this is not some fluke. This is about an entire movement of working class people who know that we can demand so much more.
Now, John Fetterman, Democratic Senator from Pennsylvania. Sir, good to have you back, and good morning to you. I want to motor through a couple of topics, and this is the first one. You said the other day that there's a significant part of our party that's being taken over with these extreme views. Now, others are saying it's just a few here and a few there. You said significant. Explain that.
Well, I think your colleague Chad just pointed out, I just put out a tweet yesterday. I mean, she was praising Kim and Stalin. I mean, between those two men, 100 million, people murdered, like some of the most evil and terrible people, in the world or in history. And she was praising them, saying we don't have enough of their books, in our libraries. And of course, she deleted those things. But
I think she's such a lovely woman. I think she's great. I want to meet her.
Million, people murdered, like some of the most evil and terrible people, in the world or in history.
Kim, is he talking about, hold on a second. Is he talking about Kim Jong-un? Because didn't Donald Trump say he loves that person?
I want to motor through a couple of topics, and this is the first one. You said the other day that there's a significant part of our party that's being taken over with these extreme views. Now, others are saying it's just a few here and a few there. You said significant. Explain that.
Well, I think
I like that he's on every, did he go to work in the last 3 days? Because yesterday he was just on every fucking show. John Fetterman.
Colleague Chad just pointed out, I just put out a tweet yesterday. I mean, she was praising Kim and Stalin. I mean, between those.
Does he mean Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-il? Lil Kim? Is he talking about Lil Kim? Lil Kim. She's a mixed bag. I mean, Lil Kim. Did she help kill Tupac? Did Lil Kim help kill Tupac or not? That's, I think, all we need to know about Lil Kim.
Those two men, 100 million, people murdered, like some of.
Okay, he's talking about Kim Jong-un, who has been praised by Donald Trump. What do you mean? You kiss Donald Trump's ass every day.
The most evil and terrible people, in the world or in history. And she was praising them, saying we don't have enough of their books, in our libraries. And of course, she deleted those things. But this is not ancient history. This is all recent views that people like this we are electing. And on this network, I've described it. I think it was with Jesse. I said, our party's becoming an orgy of socialism. And I think I've been.
Colorado University alumni for Palestine. Oh, she went to see you. Look at that. And she's sitting in a tent and she's protesting the occupation of the Palestinian nation. I mean, it's called freedom of speech. You hate her for having freedom of speech. What do you hate about this woman? I'm crushing on her hard. I think she's great.
Vindicated to see the way these elections are working out. And now I'm watching the Colorado one, where she's the one person who refused to describe someone firebombed a group of Jews in Boulder.
Kim Kardashian body count. Oh, Brian Santos, that cracks me up. It's Kim. He's talking about Kim Kardashian. Her body count's out of control. I mean, she got famous for doing that porno with Ray J. So, I mean, sorry, a sex tape, not a porn, even though it was a porn. The sex tape. It's a sex tape. Smoking Blondie says she's got a great smile. Yes, she does. They hate her for winning. I guess so. I think she makes me want to move to Denver. I was thinking about moving to Denver. I chose Albuquerque because it's so cold, but maybe she can keep me warm. Daria Lisa Chevalier, maybe she'll want to keep me warm in Denver. I don't know. Hey, you want a slightly used revolutionary, Daria Lisa? Are you in the market for a pre-owned, slightly used, very loved, formerly loved revolutionary?
And she refused to call that anti-Semitism and just responded by saying, well, we really didn't know what their motivation, why they just set a bunch of Jews on fire.
Well, so we're watching Colorado too, and then later this summer we're going to watch Michigan, where there's a Senate race there that could
Michigan too, another
be a bit
great
of a
point.
tremor. That's right. Also Maine. We'll double back on that some other day. Listen,
Pete Hessel.
That's right, as you call him, Graham Plattner.
Yeah.
On the National Mall right now, you've got the Great American State Fair, but these states have opted out. Illinois, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts.
How is this guy going to sit with Graham Plattner in his party and he's going to caucus with him in the Senate? Plattner and this piece of shit. I guarantee you, talk about Big Tent. It is a big tent. It's got Fetterman and Plattner, and they don't like each other none.
Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington State, and North Carolina. Now, in Pennsylvania, you got together with Dave McCormick, the Republican senator, colleague there in the Keystone State, and you said, we'll figure this out. Now, what the states were saying is that the organization did not give them enough time.
Is Daria Lisa, hold on a second. Is Daria Lisa Chevalier married? I don't know. Is she married? Is she married? No, she's not. Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. There's no public record to say that she is married. Ooh, I don't know. Without any mention of a spouse in all of her campaign materials, profiles, and media coverage, no mention of a spouse. I don't know. Maybe I got a chance. Maybe I should move to Denver. She's just someone that I like. I just think that she's cool. Maybe she's vegan. Is she vegan? Oh, fucking ask that. Daria Lisa. Is Daria Lisa Chevalier vegan? I don't know. Is she vegan? Yes, she's vegan and supports animal rights. While she doesn't frequently broadcast her personal diet on the campaign trail, she earned the official endorsement of Voters for Animal Rights during her historic 2026 run for New York's 13th congressional district. Oh, she's not in Denver. She's in New York. I forget. I'm getting them all confused now. Kiros is in Denver. She's in New York. She's vegan. She won a key endorsement from Voters for Animal Rights. She frequently celebrates the advocacy of local animal rights groups and relies on plant-powered vegan volunteers to help canvass across Upper Manhattan and the Bronx. What am I doing here? I need to go. I'm going to New York, everybody. I'm changing. Everything's going to change. I'm moving to New York City just to hang out with Daria Lisa Chevalier. And have this, by the way, this video is called Orgy of Socialism. Fetterman torches far left Dems. Orgy of socialism. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want. I want an orgy of socialism. Let's go.
To go ahead and set up a booth, and they couldn't raise the money to get it done. You made it happen. What's the difference?
Well, I mean,
some call Sky's new girlfriend. Come on. Calm down, Jack. You're acting like she DM'd you, bro. I just wanted to find out if she was a hypocrite, because that would be a deal breaker. Maybe she's not vegan.
Just coincidentally, my good friend Senator McCormick just texted me a couple pictures of how great it's looking down there too. And now
Tim Reed says I should ride the subway. I love riding the subway. Have you ever been to New York? I love riding the subway in New York. It's great. No one ever messes with me on the subway. Maybe it's because I'm 6'5". I weigh 245 pounds. Maybe that's why. I'm just too big. No one ever messes with me on the subway. I always have a good time. I'm always on the subway looking at people. I look at people like this. I'm doing this on the subway. I'm holding the thing, you know. I love New York City. I'm going there soon. My friend lives there. My friend from college lives there. I want to go visit him.
I would like to establish that the majority of the credit deserves with Senator McCormick now too. He's a guy that can really just put things in, bring things to get together. Neither one of us, we didn't really understand why we wouldn't do it. And now I watched that list of states that didn't provide a booth. Now they all seem like they were blue control kinds of states. I have no reason why they didn't do it. But when it's 200.
Look at the okay, right there in front. You see that little thing with the arch that looks like it just looks like some piece of shit. Does that not remind you of Stonehenge in Spinal Tap? It looks like we thought it was much bigger. It was supposed to be Stonehenge.
50 years to celebrate America. Why wouldn't you make sure that your state's going to be there? And now in turning it into owns about, no, there's not this or not this, whatever thing,
Yeah, because your president made it about him. Look what it said. Look at this stupid. Look at this sign with his face on it. That's why. Nobody wants to go to Washington, D.C. right now because it's like the hotbed of fucking fascism. Nobody wants to go there.
Patriotism is bipartisan. And I
like, look at this. Patriotism is bipartisan. Then why did he make his face the symbol of America? If it's bipartisan, why is his face? Have you ever seen any president in American history do this shit? Not in my lifetime. Never. I never saw a tarp with Barack Obama's face on it. The closest we got was Shepard Fairey painted that thing that said hope. Remember that Shepard Fairey hope painting of Barack Obama? Do you remember that? Yeah, it looked like this. It looked like this. Do you remember this? This is the closest we got. But it was an artist rendition that he did. He painted this. Shepard Fairey. He's the same guy that did the Obey Giant. He did the Angela Davis, man. Shepard Fairey. Have you ever seen the Angela Davis one? Man, I've seen it in person. It's so good. There it is. Angela Davis. Man, I love this one. Fucking revolutionary. This one right here. Power and Equality. What a great. I like it a lot. Power to the people. He did a bunch with her. Power and Equality. Bunch with Angela Davis. I went to a Shepard Fairey show a couple of years ago before the pandemic. Back before the pandemic. It was great. I like Shepard Fairey. Do you like Shepard Fairey? I think he's a great artist. I like him a lot. Anyway, what we haven't done is this before. We've never done this crazy shit. Talking about Kim Jong-un.
Hate to see people arguing, and I see the polls of people in my party. I think it's maybe 30% of them roughly are insanely proud to be American, or they're proud of America. I am absolutely a Democrat. Everyone.
Stonehenge should be bigger. Why is it so small? Do we need a little person to make it look like a druid? We need small druids. Forced perspective. 6'5", blue eyes, YouTube.
Should be insanely proud to be American and grateful to be American, especially as now we're approaching our 250th birthday.
Right. I mean, only a few small little things that happened in Philadelphia 250 years ago. I mean, small details. Senator, thank you so much.
Newly released financial disclosure forms show President Trump made more than $1.4 billion in cryptocurrency-related income last year.
You see, you could have made money. Look, he made money on Melania coin. You could have made money on Melania coin. And anyone who sends me a Cash App, a Venmo, or a YouTube super chat, I will buy Melania coin. I wish I was doing the guitar thing after this, but I'm not doing the guitar thing after this because I gotta prepare for my home inspection. I gotta install a carbon monoxide detector, and I also have to clean up. I gotta clean up for the inspection. The inspection's coming, everybody.
As president, according to the 900.
Ooh, ooh. Go, Gadget, go. Inspector Gadget.
27-page disclosure. President Trump earned $635 million from his meme coin. He also pulled in more than $500 million from token sales and $65 million from selling equity stake related to World Financial Liberty, a crypto company he co-founded with his sons. Trump also continued to make money from his real estate holdings, including $121 million from Trump National Doral.
Wow, look at all the money he made over at Mar-a-Lago. 77 million with all of those foreign dignitaries and rich people going over there to stay.
$77 million from Mar-a-Lago and $39 million from Trump Tower, Chicago.
He made $80 million for suing YouTube, CBS, Meta.
Forms show another $80 million coming in from various legal settlements with companies including Meta, ABC, CBS, and YouTube. When asked for a statement, the White House responded that Trump, quote, proudly made the United States the crypto capital of the world, adding the president never engaged in any conflicts of interest. Forgive me for chuckling through that, Anand. This is staggering.
Yeah, Melania coin. What's that Melania coin? What is the price of Ethereum today? Woo! $1,600. Wow. It was at 4,000 before he, let me see real fast. Let me put the 5-year mark up here. It's the capital. Look what he's doing. He's doing great. Look at this. Okay. It was up here in August. Where is that? It's almost $5,000. Damn. I should have sold on my Ethereum. I would have made a lot of money. And now, boom. Damn. Over during the Biden years. During the Biden years, it was almost to 5,000 as well. And then, oh, God. Ugh. Ooh. 2024. That's under Biden still. Biden. Still going pretty well. Biden. Doom. Donald Trump all the way down here. Remember when they said buy the dip? And then it came all the way up here. And now we're down here again. Not great for crypto. Not great. What about Melania coin? Melania coin? Where are we on Melania coin? Here. Melania coin. Oh, it's up, guys. It's at 75. It's at 7.5 cents, everybody. So let me see. That's in 24 hours. Let's do the 5 years. Oh, yeah. It's not a pump and dump, though, guys. It was at $8, $7.43, and now it is less than 10 cents. It's 7.5 cents. It's not a pump and dump. It's going up. Melania coin, it's only lost 99% of its value in the last 5 years. It's going up. It's going to the moon. Donald Trump never lies. It's going up, everybody. Buy Melania coin today. Now's the time. Buy the dip. This is the crypto capital of the world.
Numbers, and it's just out in the open. There used to be concerns. You can go back to George W. Bush when his dad was president. People were concerned that he sat on the board of an oil company, that there might be influence there. We mentioned Hunter Biden and Burisma. There was concern. His father was vice president of the United States. In this case, though, you have Donald Trump, who's obviously has his hand on the scale, his thumb on the scale of cryptocurrency policy, profiting to the tune of $1.4 billion. And we put it all together just in this year and a half of his second term, more than $2 billion coming into him.
You know why? Because he makes money whether you win or lose, because he owns the exchange.
It's staggering. It's corrupt. And Willie, like the skilled and seasoned newsman you are, you segued from the birthright citizenship story to this story. But I would argue it's the same story. And here's why. The story about this corruption and self-dealing is what is really going on in the United States. The fleecing of the United States by this president and his cronies and his oligarch friends. And what people do when they want to fleece a country in the way that he is distract most people and try to get them to not look up at the very powerful people who are through our institutions, and instead to look sideways at the guy next to them. Look at that immigrant over there. Look at that black person over there. Look at that homeless person over there. The project of Donald Trump is to fleece this country and make money for himself through crypto, through sneakers, through whatever else.
Sneakers?
The American dream is slipping further out of reach for young adults who were brought to this country without authorization as children, known as DACA recipients.
Oh, the Dreamers, remember them?
That is the conclusion of a new report which argues the barriers they face are driven not by a lack of ambition or talent, but by policy. Liz Landers speaks with one of the report's authors.
This month marks 14 years since the creation of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. For more than 500,000 Dreamers, many of them now in their 30s, their future in this country is uncertain. The policy established under the Obama administration offered undocumented immigrants who entered the U.S. as minors a renewable 2-year period of protection from deportation. To qualify, recipients must have been living in the U.S. before June 15, 2007, be in school or have a diploma, and have no criminal record. The Trump administration is chipping away at the policy, leaving the fate of many of its rules and regulations to ongoing court challenges.
Okay, so you got to be born before 2007. Or have to have arrived before 2007. You have to not have a criminal record, and you have to either be in school or have a diploma. You have to do some stuff if you came as a kid. So if you got caught graffitiing or got a DUI, you cannot be a dreamer.
The report, in their own words, examines the postgraduate trajectories of more than 2,500 dreamers with college degrees. It finds White House policy changes stripping many of some form of legal status or work authorization, leaving 1 in 5 of these graduates fully undocumented. Gabby Pacheco is president and CEO of the Dream.us, the organization that conducted the survey and compiled the report. Thank
you for having me.
Where does DACA stand now? There are long wait times for the renewal of DACA recipients. Some of these recipients have been deported and detained. Does DACA still offer the protections that it once did?
I wish I can say yes with certainty. Unfortunately, right now, where we stand on DACA is we have the Fifth Circuit that said, yes, we believe that people should have protections. Unfortunately, that's been over a year, so we don't really know. And what we have been seeing from the Department of Homeland Security and the Trump administration is that they have been, in essence, dismantling the program little by little by either making the renewals delayed, by ensuring that certain DACA recipients from certain countries cannot get status or get their DACA renewed, and that over 100,000 people that apply for DACA still have.
I'm pretty sure there's an Alexander sculpture in the background, that big red thing. I think that's an Alexander Calder sculpture. But look, I am a dreamer. You can't deport ideals. This really sucks. These people, they arrived before 2007. They've been here. They came as little kids. They did everything they told. Everything the government told them. But you can't trust the government. They made a deal. You can't trust the government. Don't trust the government. When they ask to put you on a list, don't trust them. Hey, if you put yourself on this list, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Every 2 years, we'll just check in. Just stay out of trouble, okay? You just keep your nose clean. Everything will be fine. Put yourself on this list.
Their DACA, their initial DACA, paused.
DACA protections include work authorization. Can you lay out some of the differences career-wise between the alumni in your report who are fully undocumented versus those who do have those work permits?
Yeah, what we see is that individuals that have work authorization, 6 months after they're graduating, they're finding jobs. And they're finding full-time jobs. They're finding jobs in their field. Cool. They are fulfilled, and they've been able to actually make more money than their parents combined. And that, to us, is just exactly what this program is about, creating that generational change and ensuring that young people who are talented and who want to give back can contribute. On the other hand, the people that do not have work authorization have a lot harder time finding work, and they have lower paying jobs. They struggle.
The average age of a DACA recipient now is about 32 years old. Yeah. They have dependents, families of their own. Has the policy kept up with the aging of this demographic?
I don't think so, specifically because the way that we talk about dreamers and DACA recipients tends to be very paternalistic. We talk about it as if they are young kids. Realistically, there are some DACA recipients that are into their 40s. We know that over 300,000 U.S. citizen children or more have a parent that has DACA. We know that DACA recipients own homes. We know that DACA recipients have been, some of them working in the same job for the last 14 years since they got DACA. And what we see, right, is that the policy and also our country has not realized, and our leaders in our country, the potential of integrating this community fully into our country. What we know is that they're paying billions of dollars in taxes, and unfortunately, they have to live in 2-year increments at a time.
You were an undocumented student yourself and one of the architects of DACA. 14 years in, is the program still serving the purpose it was designed for?
I would dare to say that the DACA program is likely one of the most successful immigration programs we've had in our 250 years of our country. I own my own home. I have been able to fulfill myself, right? I pay a lot in taxes and contribute. And this is a story of integration. I used to hear this a lot. Why don't you just make the line? And I'm like, there's no line. I will make the line if there were.
The Trump administration has admitted to deporting Dreamers and is openly pushing and advocating for Dreamers to self-deport. How do these slow-walking renewals, the stripping of protections from HHS and other agencies, and barring this professional licensure increase the pressure to do that?
That's so fucked up. Like, they did everything they got. God, that's so fucking annoying. They did, like, DACA did. These Dreamers did everything the government told them to do. Got an education, got licensures, they got driver's licenses. Some of them are truck drivers. They did everything they could. They did everything they were told. And now Donald Trump says, no, DACA recipients can't have commercial driver's licenses, for example. And so these people who have dedicated their lives to this country, paid their taxes, stayed out of trouble, never committed a crime, and they've had families, they own homes, they did everything they were supposed to do. And they're getting shafted because they're immigrants. And they didn't even choose. Their parents brought them here when they were infants. They were babies when they got here. Donald Trump hates children. MAGA hates kids. MAGA hates kids. There's a t-shirt in the merch area for MAGA hates kids. They hate them.
You see rising pressure on Dreamers to self-deport.
I think that is the point of what they're trying to do. And it's a bit confusing because what you hear from the mouth of the president about Dreamers is very positive.
Republicans are very open to the Dreamers.
You want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying.
I do. I want to be able to work something out.
He understands the issue. He says he wants to do something. Yet the policy and what we're seeing coming out from the administration and the Department of Homeland Security is completely contrary to that. And the solution is right in the hands of everybody, but yet nobody wants to do something about it.
You've been advocating for these legislative changes. Do you think that Congress is going to do anything?
They have to. And it is up to us to use our voice to push members of Congress to take action and to take action sooner rather than later, because as we see, people are suffering, people are getting deported, people are losing their jobs, and this is not good for our country.
They're splitting up families, people that were born in other countries for sure, but they got here and they've been here for a long time. Why the hell is this still? It's shocking to me. It's shocking to me that we're allowing it. Anyway, what time is it? I gotta go. I can't do 6 hours a day. I'm sorry. I got my house inspection. I gotta clean up. I gotta make sure everything's okay. I gotta clean up the house and do all the stuff that I need to do to get this show going. I gotta have a home inspection today. Wish me luck. Sucks. It's not something I want to be doing today. Looks like you guys are into gold, huh? Same with Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing, co-siders? Bitcoin doing okay? What's the price of Bitcoin today? 59,000 at 5 years. Oof. God, everything went up in October 2025, huh? I should have sold everything. I don't have any Bitcoin anymore. I sold it all when it was like down here. I sold it down here someplace. Or maybe I sold it like, I don't know. I sold it when I needed money really bad. I sold it a lot. I think I made a little bit, but I was pretty much screwed. Now it's down here. There you go. Donald Trump took office right here. Donald Trump took office here. No, that's 2024. He took office here. Right? No, 2025. I was right. No, it was right here. Donald Trump took office here. It went down. And now it's all the way the fuck down here, man. Not good. Not good. Soros owes me much back, but yeah, Soros has got to pay you. Yeah, Bitcoin is a scam. Sure. I mean, all of these things are scams. Gold and silver are scams. You just decide that gold is worth a lot. I mean, gold sure has some use, but we just decided that gold is worth something. I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Later rebels, soon to be New Mexico resident Skyjack. Oh my God. I haven't even seen the house in person. I'm thinking about just buying it and making an offer and just buying it sight unseen. Screw it. What's the worst case scenario, right? The inspector will go in and tell me what's wrong. I'll just have to roll the dice. Just roll the dice. The entire stock market is a scam. Wow. Shit, Sid Life. You can't say no to that. You're pretty right on about that. Sayard Yan says life is a scam. I play a mobile game that uses BTC as the payout. That's kind of cool. Positrack says it's not a scam. Bitcoin is not a scam. Well, if you could actually buy something with Bitcoin, sure, I would say it's not a scam. But what can you buy with Bitcoin? Are people buying stuff? Can you buy pizza with Bitcoin yet? You still can't buy shit. Like, no one accepts Bitcoin. So until that happens, I don't know what the hell it is, right? Like, it's just a scam until people are using it. I think. I mean, I own a little bit of Ethereum. I had some Bitcoin. I sold it. I have a little bit of Ethereum. But I mean, look at it. Like it's just gambling. It's like roulette. You try to like wait. You just park your money, but it's not worth it, man. You could just the S&P 500 has outpaced Bitcoin. So I mean, some people did a Bitcoin-backed mortgage. Did they really? Wow, Bitcoin-backed mortgage. That's pretty crazy. You can cash it out like any other stock. I need my casino fix. It's kind of a casino, right? There are Bitcoin ATMs. I've seen the Bitcoin ATMs, but what they do is convert to dollar, and you get dollars. I mean, they've got gold coin ATMs too. I've seen them. They've got gold bar ATM. You could put money in and get gold out. So I mean, like those things exist, but I mean, it's not standard. It's nowhere near standard. Like, as soon as tell me when people are buying pizzas with this shit. If you could buy a pizza with Melania coin or Bitcoin, I'll think it's not a scam anymore. All right. Thank you so much. Well, what you want? Oil? Positrack. No, I don't want oil. I mean, dollar bills are what we use, right? I mean, let's just... I'd like the dollar bill to be worth more so that my buying power goes up, that what I have in the bank goes up, my house prices go up. Everything goes up when the dollar bill does well. When Bitcoin does well, who does that benefit? Not me. No one I know. Do you guys go around, like, I don't know, all you guys with your dogs, man? There's someone walking out front. She got a bunch of kids with her and a dog. She's walking a dog. She got a kid in a stroller and two little kids. They're walking around outside. Kids got backpacks on. Maybe I thought it was summertime. Maybe they're going to summer camp or something. Little kids, and the dog took a shit, and the mom had to like pick up the shit with a bag. Is that what you guys like doing? That's the way you do every morning, all you dog owners? Fucking weird, man. What are you guys doing? Raul Duke, no, the dollar ain't doing great. The dollar is not doing great. That's the whole problem. That's my issue, man. The dollar is not doing great. It's not good because Donald Trump is screwing us. Totally agree. There's Bitcoin credit cards. Never heard of them. When I was in Japan, I went to a bar that took Bitcoin. And I thought that was kind of cool, but I didn't have any Bitcoin, so I didn't use it. But I thought it was kind of cool. Like you have like a device that you could buy beer with Bitcoin. And I saw Donald Trump bought a burger with Bitcoin. And I think that's fine, whatever. Seems dumb to me because, we have dollars. But whatever. Sid has a cat. So cats, you have to like scoop the shit out of this box of ignominy. You have to go to this box and scoop out their piss and shit every day. I don't know why you guys like doing that. Human beings, so weird. Why? If you have a cat, you want it life? I don't know about that. I think you just turned yourself into a slave for your slave. You bought a slave and then you became a slave. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea to me. All right. Thank you all. I always pick up after my dog. I don't want kids stepping in it. Yeah, I guess I get that. I'm glad that you guys are all doing that. Thank you for picking up after your dogs. I don't think that people should have dogs, but hey, that's just me. I mean, you can have a dog. It's American. You can do whatever you want in life. And I hope that you'll clean up after that dog because I don't want to step in that shit either. But I think it's weird that people sign up for that. Like, hey, I can't wait to get a dog so I can go and pick up all their shit. And every morning, I'm going to take a shit. And then I'm going to walk a dog around. I'm going to pick up the dog shit. And then I could get on with my day. What the fuck? Why would you want to do that? Anyway, Sid Life, I prefer cat. Okay, that's good. Cats and dogs, they're awesome. Sid Life, they're awesome. Cats and dogs are great. Everyone loves cats and dogs. When I see a dog or a cat, I'm like, oh, everyone likes dogs and cats, right? I love dogs. I love cats. I love animals. I don't want to own one and have to pick up their shit. That's what I'm saying. All right. The companionship of a pet is irreplaceable, Sky, and they don't talk. I guess I just like women more. I like women more than I like dogs and cats. I like people. I like hanging out with people. I like humans. All right. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And we did not get any super chats, so I've got no one to thank but the Sky City Rebels. Thank you, Sky City Rebels, for being a Sky City Rebel. Sky City Rebels get extra content, extra streams, and extra love in the chat because people like Sid Life have green letters on their name. I can see you. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. I love your faces. And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you on Friday. What today's Wednesday? We'll see you Thursday morning. We'll see what happens, you know? Sorry to cut it short today, but I had to. My girlfriend is camping in a state park in her RV, and last night a stray cat started hanging at her site. She is a Disney princess. Sid Life says, Jack. Well, thank you. All right, again, 1,000 times thank you. I have to go somehow fix my house up so that this inspector will, I don't know, be cool. Be cool. Bitch, be cool. You, be cool. All right, goodbye, everybody. Thank you for everything. I'll see you on the other side. Like and subscribe. Hype of stream. Share a short.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.